Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are live. Welcome to America's favorite quality of life improvement podcast. It's time for the Caliber Corner. It's season 5, episode number 259. This is a discussion that we have not had for 202 episodes in roughly 4 or 5 years. Gun safes, gun lockers, gun boxes. What do you really need? And a couple things I want to say real quick before we get started. The first one is that there is no perfect safe out there. It seems like whenever I've done gun safe reviews, people say, well, that's easy to open, that's easy to steal, blah, blah, blah. That's not the idea. The idea is anything that's going to maybe buy you some time before your guns get taken, right? The other thing too is we're not advocating for you locking your guns up at all. I believe it's every gun owner's rights to store their firearms however they so choose, depending on the conditions that they're in. Because a lot of you would say, well, I've told my kids never to touch them and they never do. Okay, that's fine. But there might be people out there that want to get them. And the last thing I want to say is I know it's post Black Friday and post Cyber Monday, and a lot of these safes are no longer on sale. There's no deals on it, but we're going into the holiday season, and a lot of stores want to move these out because of the inventory, the space they take up, and the price and stuff. So you can still get some good deals on them. And if anything, we're just seeing what's out there. Has anything changed in the last 4 years since we had our last discussion on gun safes? So that's pretty much what it's all about. We got a lively crowd out there on the YouTube side. But before we do that, let's go ahead and let everybody introduce themselves. Kingpin, since you just got here, I'm going to put you on the spot. Anything you want to say this morning? Get your plug in this morning, make a few announcements. What is up, Kingpin?
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for having me.
So, Kingpin, I know you wanted us to have a discussion on cargo pants, and namely the cargo pants that have the hot pocket size pockets in them. It's probably gonna have to wait till episode 260. I just want you to know that.
Hey, I heard it on the radio the other day, and before the person on the radio finished the sentence, I had your email address pulled up, and I was Travis.
Still wear cargo pants that eat hot pockets. There's a lot of us out there. A lot of us tactical dad bods running around. So making cargo shorts with hot pockets in them. I mean, there might be some kind of burn disclaimers they have to give you. I'd be worried about that, but I think it's definitely there's a market for that. There definitely is. So
my biggest question so far, I get it. You get the hot pocket out of the microwave, you drop it in your pocket, and then you go for a brisk 5-mile run.
Yeah.
Keep the hot pocket nice and warm. But once you've bitten into it and you put it back in your pocket, that's problematic.
Yeah, no, that doesn't happen. No, because once you eat it, you usually put down your hot pocket within 4 to 5 bites in about a minute and a half. So I don't think it's even an issue at all. Maybe there's some sort of removable liner that you can wash. What's that?
Well, there might be some uncivilized people that think that you could eat more. Like you, obviously, it's directly rules involved. If you take more than 4 to 5 bites eating a hot pocket, then you're probably a communist.
Unless it's really hot, in which case you've got to slow down and let it cool down, and then you just destroy it. So. But yeah, no, I agree totally. Well, you definitely.
If it's hot, you just burn the crap out of your mouth.
Yes, you just kind of deal with it, Exactly. All right. And also joining us, Hillbilly Up, American Hillbilly, we're having a discussion on cargo shorts that now come with a hot pocket. That's not today's topic. We're just kind of throwing it out there. But Hillbilly Up, why don't you go ahead and give us an introduction of who you are and what your channel has to offer.
Hey guys, how you doing today?
Oh, we're lively.
Sorry I was running a little bit late. I was out there doing my workout outside, with the goats and everything, and just running a little late.
Got to get your goat yoga on and stuff,
yep,
and then
exactly.
Yeah. That's right. Got to get the goats back in the gun locker. It's. No, that's fine, man. But hey, guys, make sure you check out the American Hillbilly channel. Lots of good stuff going on. It's definitely the cool place to go check out. So if you want something fun to watch, make it happen. So little shout out to Raw Feeding 101. This is all Trav I mind control. So what it is me making suggestions that, cargo pants with hot pockets in them are definitely the way to go. That's me exhibiting some sort of Jedi mind trick on you. And I wouldn't be surprised if I order some of these by the end of the weekend. So yeah.
Isn't a hot pocket about the same size as magazines?
Pretty much like straight mags, not curved mags, because it's you could probably put hot pockets in like a mag carrier. You could definitely have tactical snack ability with you no matter where you go. So yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah.
You have a hot pocket and then a magazine. Hot pocket, magazine.
You could alternate. You could have like four. You could, dude, I'm telling you, there's a market for this. Put some Magpul poles on those so you can whip them right out and just eat them, and then put them on like a popsicle stick or something. There's some. We'll discuss this one after the chat. I think there's definitely some possibilities here. So, all right. Well, Foos, since you're chatting away, let's go ahead and let you introduce yourself, Foos. What are you all about? What's going on, brother?
Just USPSA. That's all I do. That's all my shooting is.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I went to I converted my press over to 40 and made a few rounds. I went to grab a gun and to make sure everything was good, and figured out a rear sight was broken. Second one this year. Second one this year.
Ooh.
So, I mean, they're only about $130 a piece.
Oh yeah, only. Yeah. Sure, that's a couple weeks worth of food for most families, but dang it, you got to have that rear sight, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm going to have to swap that out, but oh well.
Can you send those in for like under a warranty claim or something? They don't have any kind of lifetime warranty on something like that?
No. Well, I mean, I've the first one, because I know the guys at CZ, the first one did get warranty, but he's like, after that, no. I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I gotcha.
But I mean, I've already broken like 3 of them.
Jeez, man. Might be time to move on to something different. Maybe find a different brand or company or try something a little bit different.
Because I would rather spend a couple hundred a year for sights than go out and buy 2 $4,000 guns and then mags at $130 a piece.
True. Yeah, I don't blame you for that.
And then all the ammo I do have loaded is too short for those guns. So, yeah, no.
Nah, ain't gonna happen. Gotcha, man. All right. And also joining us, we got Chris in the 740. Chris, how's your morning going? Are you good?
I'm doing great. Thanks for the invite.
No problem, man. So give us a little teaser. What's coming up on the channel, man? What are you going to be featuring? I've been checking out the shorts you've been posting over on YouTube. So
I got quite a bit coming up. I did a lot of filming yesterday. I knew the weather was going to be crap here today. So I went out and shot a few videos yesterday, and now I just got to go through the editing process. But the Taurus, the new G3 Tactical I bought, I'm going to have a couple videos coming out this Tuesday and Thursday with that. And I'm going to make quite a few on it. I'm going to do I did the video, just, the first impressions out of the box, and then we'll do an optic video with the optic. Going to shoot it suppressed, and so we'll get a few videos out of it.
Yeah, G3 Tactical offers a lot of value for the money, offers a lot of options, with optics mounting, and also offers its platform without the safety, mechanical safety, thumb safety, which I don't know if there's any other G3s that offer that I can think of, any G3 series guns. So that's pretty cool, man. And again, the price was right, and definitely about half the price of an FN,
Yeah.
So you say, well, how can you compare it to an FN? Oh, you might be surprised. I mean, it's it's not like we're comparing, like an FN barreled AR versus, something lesser, but still. So yeah, that's cool, man. I look forward to it. And then again, like I said, I was checking out the shorts, which give us a little teaser about what's going on. So cool, man. And your discussion, your chat, when do you do your podcast?
Wednesday night, we're 9 Eastern, 8 Central.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be doing the 2,000 subscriber party this Wednesday night. And then next weekend, I'm going to be all day Saturday. I'm going to a training. Should be pretty fun. We're going to do stairwell clearing and training and vehicle training. Never done anything like that. So I'm going to be hopefully get some filming done there while I'm doing that. And then I'm going to invite all the guys on the following Wednesday that are putting the training on.
Oh, sweet, man. Sounds good.
Hey, can I interject just for a quick second?
Do it, man.
Chris, being an East Coaster, you don't have to kowtow to these fake time zoners.
We're the ones that always have to translate the time zones for the rest of the world. Sure, a third of America's population lives on the coast, or 2/3, but that's not the point, Kingpin. All right. There's some of us out here that have to know where to have the sundial pointed so we know exactly when to, listen on our transistor radios to these podcasts. So yeah, all of us unsophisticated folk. Just real quick here, Raw Feeding 101, Magpul might beat you to it. The mag pocket. So you could have a mag pocket. You could have a little strap that goes in your hot pocket. You can use that to pull up on the hot pocket to get it out, like for tactical reloads in your mouth. So, Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. Also joining us, we got a little Rich White's coming on us. Rich, what's going on this morning? How you doing, man? Are you awake or what?
I think I'm awake. I hope I am, or else I don't know how the hell I got here.
Mm-hmm. You clicked on the magical link and it brought you here. So what you been doing, man? How are things going? You stay busy or what?
Same as always, basically.
Yeah.
But come back to the Hot Pocket discussion. Which is worse for burning your mouth, Hot Pocket or a pizza that just came out of the oven?
Oh, I gotta say pizza. It's just sheer heat all the way around. You know, it's just, and you've got that searing sauce under that hot cheese. Whereas a Hot Pocket, it's like a gamble. I mean, there's some parts of the Hot Pocket that can be cold, but then also hot, but then kind of warm. But when it comes to hot pizza right out of an oven, it's full on, man. I mean, that pizza is just molten lava. You know.
Well,
I'm gonna say pizza.
The Hot Pocket catches you off guard, though.
But you got that layer of bread to buy you a few seconds.
Pizza.
The pizza is like just sheer heat, though. That's the problem. So I don't know.
But you can prepare for the pizza. Just get some wax and put it on the roof of your mouth, and then
True.
But the Hot Pocket, you never know.
It totally depends on the kind of pizza. If it's one of those Totino's ones or whatever, like the little $1.50 ones, those are super hot.
Yes.
Yeah, there's two temperatures to Hot Pockets. You guys know this?
Yep.
Either cold or molten lava hot.
And like if you see you can see like molten cheese coming out of the sides of the Hot Pocket, that means it's probably pretty hot on the ends. It might be still frozen in the center, but that's just a chance to take. So
and there is an honorable mention here. Pillsbury toaster strudels.
Mm-hmm. Those always seem to find just the right heat. I don't know. I always seem to find just the right setting on the toaster oven for those. Because if you go too much, you burn them and then you ruin them. And there's only like 6 in a box, so you got to enjoy them. But if you undercook them, then they're cold and kind of chewy and nasty. So that's always been kind of that's like a gourmet, preparation method it takes to make the proper toaster strudel. Yeah. I think we need to try this in some sort of a tabletop video. So I'm not sure. Oh, now Defense Dad puts one out here. The Totino's pizza rolls for our rule supreme for burning your mouth. Yeah, because like they look innocent, and you take a bite and it's just like it just like explodes, liquid fire. So yeah, that's definitely up there.
Definitely. Those are Hot Pockets that haven't. Yeah, but the Totino's pizza rolls are just Hot Pockets that haven't grown up yet.
This is true. They're the offspring of the Hot Pockets. So they have not grown up yet. Yep. Rich, hey, tell us about your podcast that you do. We like to get this information out there every week because you guys have some fun discussions that are cool to listen to. What do you guys talk about?
Well, let's see. Tonight we got the wrestling chat, which is on Wrestling Unloaded. Where we talk about pro wrestling and a bunch of other stuff. We don't talk just about the wrestling, and we always end up diverging into firearms somehow on that show. but yeah, and then Sunday nights we pretty much have taken over for the closer since Midnight Range hasn't been around, and that's this week Unloaded on the Unloaded Media channel, and that's at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So check those two shows out.
East Coast time or what?
Yes, that'll be East Coast time.
East Coast. That's 7:30 Central Time Zone. So gotcha. Just want to get that out there. So. You know what you should do? You guys should have a discussion like what guns would you think that certain wrestlers would own? Like what gun would you associate with particular wrestlers? That's a discussion you guys haven't had yet.
No, we have had a discussion on what wrestlers do own firearms, and like the Undertaker, he a couple years ago for his birthday, his wife, who also was a professional wrestler, Michelle McCool, she bought him a gun safe that looks like an old timey Western bank vault.
Oh, sweet.
and for his anniversary, their anniversary this year, he just posted a picture on his Instagram. She got him 2 matching end tables for, or nightstands for in their bedroom that match the vault looking safe.
Oh, I thought maybe they'd have like little drawers that pop out and they go John Wick and the guns pop out of them or something, No,
they look like smaller Old West safes instead of the big bank vault, but they're done in the same style as what his bank vault gun safe for.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Never thought about having furniture to match your gun safe. That's like another discussion we need to have. So yeah, how to make your gun safe coordinate with the rest of your home. Mm-hmm. Your gun shui, if you will, instead of feng shui. I coined that term. You heard it here first, but all right, man. Good deal. And then anything else, Rich, you want to mention, or are we good?
No, we're good.
Cool. All right, good to have you here. All right, also moving on. Single shot. What's going on in your world, brother? How you doing? You good?
Oh, we're doing all right. I had some time off there, and my brother and I decided to take the venture to Georgia, and I picked up a bunch of my stuff and brought it back to
Hey, dude, you're cutting out.
up there.
I couldn't hear anything.
Now,
Couldn't hear anything you just said, dude. Single shot. We'll come back to you when you get a little bit better reception on your phone. Okay. Can't hear you, man.
What's going on with this thing? Hello?
That's all right, man. Don't worry. It's okay. You'll get better reception eventually. We'll come back to you and we'll bug you in a little bit. All right. Squibload. Last but not least, what are you doing, man? Are you staying busy or what?
Yeah, busier than I'd like to be.
A little too busy. So I heard you're having some wonderful coffee this morning. Is that true?
Yeah, it's
What's it called again? Poop Storm? What's the name of the coffee? What's the midnight shift? What's
morning dump, I think.
Let's just say he does not have. I'm trying to encourage him to put out a negative coffee review, like a just blatant I hate this coffee review, because from the sounds of it, it just sounds like it's not your cup of joe, man. So
yeah, but I paid too much for it, so I'm gonna finish the bag, of course.
I know you can't waste it. That's definitely for sure. So,
Yeah,
I did dump a bag of coffee in the garden as compost as a joke. I mean that, and to get rid of it. More than once, I've bought decaf by mistake. So, yeah.
Oh more than once? What is wrong with you? Don't you read the package?
No, I just grab it off the shelf. No. Well,
sometimes you can't tell. Sometimes they look exactly the same. Like it looks exact. You just can't tell. And you get home, it's like, oh God, what did I just buy? You know?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, man. I don't know. Okay. We'll let Single Shot back in here real quick.
He's got the phone in the engine compartment.
Single Shot, how you doing, man? Are you back or what? All right, man. We're gonna go ahead and mute you. All right.
Just distract.
What's that? He's supposed to be retired, but he's like working every time we have him on the show. So yeah.
Somebody let Single Shot know that you're supposed to keep the phone inside the cab.
You know, it's just noise. It's just noise for him driving down the road. Chris Winsett says gun shui instead of feng shui. Gun shui. That's awesome. Completely overlooked by the panel. You have something here. We should have that. Like how we do the guns in our home. Like is there some place or a way that we prefer to have the guns presented in our home? Like Chris always has this beautiful hardware just beautifully just hanging up on the wall behind him, you know. And I generally sometimes have, you know, something sitting on this wonderful rnldisplays.com, which you guys can go check out at rnldisplays.com gun stand, and you can put your AR compatible rifles on this American-made, veteran-owned company, rnldisplays.com gun stand. So make sure you guys check that out. Last thing I want to mention here. Now, I'm not sponsored by them. Okay, this was actually sent to me by Artisan Tony to do a review on it. The Mantis Blackbird X, and I know this is showing up in a bunch of gun videos now. There's a bunch of big YouTubers that are showing this thing off. Artisan Tony got this sent to him, and he wanted to know if I wanted to do a review on it, because he likes how I do reviews. Apparently, he said it was pretty cool. And so I'm going to do a review on this. This is over $300. I'm just going to test it out and try and talk about it. I did a review on the Mantis system, another Mantis system last year. Really enjoyed it. A lot of fun to play around with. And then we're going to give this away. So it'll be over on Artisan Tony's channel. We'll do the live drawing. I think what we're going to do is have you guys post a comment on my review, and then I'll put a link to Artisan Tony's channel, and we'll make an announcement about when we're going to do the drawing. And then you comment on my video. I'll do the random comment picker comment, and then you guys can win the Blackbeard X. And this is basically a trigger auto reset system that you can use with your AR-15. I've never tested it before. I've seen some videos on it. You basically replace your bolt carrier group in your magazine with this, and you use it with the Mantis laser training system, and you can just have some fun with it. You know, just kind of practicing. There's different games and activities and stuff you can do with it. The last Mantis system that I tested last year, we actually had fun with it at Christmas time at my grandma's and my aunt's. We set it up and let everybody take some shots and play around with it, and everybody had a good time. The only catch on that is that, you know, you have to reset it every time. You have to recharge your weapon in order to fire it. But with the hammer fired gun, you know, it's definitely a lot of fun to play around with. But this one does an auto trigger reset in it, so that you can just keep pulling your trigger. Now, granted, you're not dealing with the recoil or the force or the smoke or the conditions, but it's still kind of cool just to kind of have a chance to play around with the manual of arms of your firearm. So the Blackbird X is something that we will be giving away shortly after I get my review done. So guys, make sure you do check that out. like I said, I'm not sponsored by Manus. They've never reached out to me that I know of to test any of their products, and that's totally cool. So we're gonna go ahead and give that away. So gun shui. I'm gonna have to think about that, Chris. You have to make it happen. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. It's been almost 20 minutes now. We haven't talked about gun safes, gun lockers, gun boxes. What do you really need? Since 4 years ago, when we did our last discussion on this, prices on these gun safes have not dropped, but I can also say that they really haven't gone up. And if anything, there's maybe more competition now than there was, 4 years ago. So I'm going to round table this. We'll just kind of get around to you guys quick, each of you, and just kind of share with me kind of what are your thoughts on gun safes, gun lockers, lock gun boxes. And again, no shaming here. If you don't believe in locking up your firearms, that is totally your choice. That's your philosophy, and that's cool, right? So Squibbler, we're going to start with you. We'll just kind of go round robin from what I'm seeing on my screen. What are your thoughts on a gun safe? I mean, what is something that people should know, or what do you think about it? Just gun safes in general, Squib. Okay, he might be getting himself a refill of coffee. We'll come back to you, Squib. Rich, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, you got the money, might as well get one. It doesn't hurt anything. If anything, it could be useful. I mean, anything's able to be broken into. So, I mean, they're not foolproof, but it does provide a little bit more security than just not having it.
Yeah, if anything, it's going to be a deterrent. And there are ways you can, mount these things into your home depending on where you keep the gun safe. You can bolt them. You can anchor them into your wall. You can use floor anchor bolts and stuff and drill into the concrete and have them, it's going to stop somebody from necessarily cutting into them. But again, just kind of the thought about is, again, if you've got the money, which is interesting, when we're gun people, it's odd that, we'll drop $700 or $800 on a gun, but then we complain about a case of ammo, which is half the price of the gun, which feeds your gun. Or we'll complain about the price of a safe, even though we just dropped $1,000 on something, but you don't want to spend $700 or $800 on a safe. I mean, look at what you're getting. You're getting an entire 800-pound piece of metal that's less than the price of the gun that you bought. It's kind of interesting, people's opinions on it and stuff like that. And even I kind of take a minimalist approach to locking up my firearms, but I still have them locked up and secured in a way that they would definitely stall somebody trying to get them out of my home.
Then once we got locked up, or the long guns to handguns, we got one of those medium-sized stack-on gun cabinets that's in our bedroom closet.
And even when it's full, it's still heavy. It would take a couple adults, a lot of effort to get one of those things out of your house without making a lot of noise, So, I mean, even then, it is a deterrent, especially if somebody gets into your home. It's going to prevent them from getting into your cabinet while you're defending your home. Now, again, I don't have any children. Okay, there's nobody else with me, just me and the dog. And so, and I'm not saying I'm lax about keeping my guns out and so on, but Rich, I'm kind of along your philosophy too. But I will say this: when I'm out of the house, every pistol that's not on me is locked up. I'm just saying that right now. I have nothing sitting out, just because I live in an apartment complex, and there could be maintenance people coming and going and whatnot. So I do want to be careful, obviously. And also I've got my alarms and cameras and all that crap. But still, Raw Feeding 101 says, I think Chris and I are both rocking an Aegis. Are we talking gun cleaning equipment there, Raw Feeding? I wasn't sure what you're. Oh, is he, Chris? What is he talking about? Is he talking about
Optic? Aegis Optic.
Oh, okay. Because I thought Aegis was a gun cleaning. They do gun cleaning supply. And then there's X Aegis, which makes like scopes and bipods and stuff like that. So, yeah. All right. Now, when we're doing this little round robin thing that we're doing right now, this little round table thing, just if you have like a certain brand of safe you like to, maybe throw it out there. Okay. So, Chris, we'll move on to you. What are your thoughts on this, man? Gun storage, gun ideas. What's your philosophy on it?
No, I love having my gun safes. I haven't bought one I'm going to have to get a third one at this point. Both of mine are getting pretty well full, but I always buy mine on Black Friday. When it comes due that I need a new safe, I'll wait till Black Friday to get one. I normally just buy Canon. I mean, they're not the best, but
that's what my dad has, and I did a Canon safe review, and people were complaining about their keypad failing and then not being able to get service on it. They did get bought out by somebody else, so for a while there, they were out of business, I guess you could say. But they transferred to another company, and they're still selling them. My dad's got a Canon that he bought at Tractor Supply Company. He got like a 64 gun safe. He go big or go home, and he loves it. I mean, it's kept stuff, and he has, humidity control in it. He's got the little plug-in stack on or whatever it's called, dehumidifier that he puts in there and charges every couple months. He's had nothing but good luck with it. I mean, the build quality is fine. It's not maybe, like Liberty levels, which are also paying half the price, So yeah, have you had any problems with the keypad on yours at all? Anything fail on it or anything like that?
No, I think my first one now would be probably 12, 13 years old. I just change a 9-volt battery in it once a year.
That's the key too. If you don't do that, the battery's gonna get weird. The voltage it puts out, it could start leaking or corroding, and that's gonna cause problems with electronics. You need to change the batteries on a regular basis. You don't get I don't think you get a warning with it like you do a smoke alarm. So that's something really to consider. If you get one of these gun safes, you're gonna go biometric, keypad, electric, fingerprint, whatever. They do have batteries, and they should be changed on a regular basis. I know it's easy to get lazy about that, but still, yeah. The other thing I was going to say, Chris, is I know on the Canon safes, my dad, we've never been able to figure this out. We set the passcode up for it the first time when we bought it, never been able to change it. No matter what you do, no matter what we try, we've not been able to change a passcode on it. So I don't know what the deal is. Have you ever changed your combination on yours?
No, both of them actually have the exact same.
Yeah, I don't know if it's something up with the systems or what. Maybe you have to type it in within so many seconds or something, but it's really, you have to push this button to clear it out, then you punch the new one in, then you secure it and try it. So we've never been able to get it to go. So Raw Feeding 101 says I bought a cabinet because it was a good idea and because my wife was getting annoyed by rifles lying all over the house. It kind of keeps them stowed in one place and safe so they're not falling over everything. Your dogs aren't chewing on the furniture of your guns, because I've seen people get their Glocks mangled by their dogs when they leave the gun sitting out. The dog thinks it's a chew toy because it looks plastic, and chew toys are plastic. So, that's something that can happen too. So Raw Feeding, thank you so much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. What was it? New York Outcast had a pretty good one. You can always make your home a safe. Yeah, I know people that have in-home vaults. They've actually gone through and done the concrete and rebar, or when they had their houses built, they had a concrete rebar vault door enforced. I've actually seen this in people's homes where they store their firearms, and that's not unheard of. It's not a bad idea. When you sell the house, that's definitely a selling point for somebody buying the house. There's a good chance that somebody could use it for even storage of valuables and stuff like that too. So that's something to consider. Yeah. So again, if you look into getting these things, go ahead. Yeah.
The whole make your home a safe is more or less saying I'm too cheap to buy a safe. That's all it is.
Yeah, I was going to say that comment there is Rob D being a Weisenheimer. That's what.
I can never judge you.
I can lock on my doors and just keep guns in the closet in the back and call my house a safe, and I won't buy a safe.
Make your home safe by staying home all day, right? I mean, and Rob doesn't do that, but I'm just saying, and here's the thing, guys, I never know a person unless I know the character of the person commenting. I don't know emotion in comments because it's a comment. I'm not having a conversation with you in person. So I was sitting there thinking, oh yeah, you can rebar a closet and put cinder blocks around it and put a vault in it and put a concrete pad over the top of it, right?
Here, let me $500 for a safe. That's just crazy.
What are you talking about, man? I just put a lock on my door. That's your Rob D impersonation.
That's Rob. Right there, so. That's Rob. You guys have to know him. But
we love you, Rob. I like to impersonate people. I'm pretty good at it. So
spend $800 on a canoe.
Listen, a canoe is just as good as a salad. It's good for you.
I have to give you crap, man. I haven't talked to you in a while. I have to give you some crap, dude.
We love Rob D, man. Rob, I just got in promoting RunlowDisplays.com, and I always have you on the banner down below because I love you, man. All right. So Kingpin says the safest thing everybody here can do today is hit the thumbs up. That's right. Doesn't cost nothing. Don't cost nothing. And yeah. All right. Vanessa Kitty says, take an underground bunker / playroom. Dude, there you go. That's a good excuse for it. Give the kids a place to go play, not a bad idea. Yeah, we've even done a shout out on the YouTube side. I think we'll probably have to save that for the end here. So
yeah. I found the pictures of that one I was talking about that the Undertaker's wife got him, if you want to see it.
Yeah, do you want to go and did you put it up there yet? So this is the gun safe that the wrestler known as the Undertaker, right? This is what. Oh my God,
that's the outside facade.
That's cool.
That's what it looks like inside.
Oh, he's definitely Pro 2A. Yeah, there you go.
Definitely.
Somebody likes the 1911s.
Yeah. And there's the little tables
she got
this year to go with it.
Oh, I'm liking that. I'm definitely liking that. Yeah, so that company, do they market those in a line, or is that just a one-off? They just did it for him?
She had those made for him. They're made by Rhino Metals, so I don't know if you contact them if they can make something like that for you or not. But yeah, I thought they were pretty cool.
Oh, I'm sure with enough money, anything's possible. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Bottom is a safe.
Yeah, Single Shot, you're back.
Okay.
Single Shot, why don't you, since you've had a house fire, What can you tell us about buying a gun safe? Did you buy a good enough safe? Do you wish you would have bought a better safe? Because you've had a situation where you've had a total loss, basically, and you've had firearms damaged in a fire. So when we start looking at these gun safes here on the internet, they start talking about the temperature resistance and the fire safe factor and stuff. What do we need to know about that? What are your thoughts on the safes in general?
Well, your temperature range is very important. The one that I had was 1200 for 30 minutes. And once they're subjected to fire like that, it's a one-time use. You can't reuse that. That thing got so hot on the outside, it burnt the paint off the outside of it.
Yeah, and sometimes there's like a seal that'll temporarily form on the inside. That's just a one-time expansion thing. I know,
it's got the fire brick in the bottom and the sides, walls on the inside of it. That's why this is blasted heavy. Is not only the steel, but the fire brick that's inside. But I've got a Liberty and I've got a Cannon. And I just moved the Cannon from down south back home. This last week, my brother and I went down and got a bunch of stuff out of that storage unit that was down there. And finally got around to bringing them things back. I've got a lot of work to do to get them things cleaned up, checked, and then test fired. So I got a lot of other stuff that's got to be cleaned too. I got my toolboxes and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be wearing out the best part of probably 3 of those carding brushes that Mark Novak mentions in his gunsmithing videos on YouTube. They work really well. Those things work really well. Don't ever wire brush, the stiff wire brush, any gun part that you intend to refinish, because then those coarser bristles will chew into that thing and make scars all over it.
Oh yeah.
That's why we use carding brushes. And that's what they call them. It's a carding brush. I've got a 4-row carding brush on my grinder buffer.
No, I just use nylon brushes. And I got you. Yeah, you want to be really careful because it's easy to damage the finish. Yeah.
Yeah. You take the metal right out of the stock, strip it down, and then use that carding brush to clean it off. You could use a toothbrush, but that's going to take you a long time, I'll tell you. But no, I leave it to each his own. If a person feels like he ought to have some kind of a security containment device, then go for it. And I just don't want to take the chance of somebody carrying off of something that belongs to me. And it doesn't necessarily have to encase firearms. You can put your valuables in that thing and everything else, so papers that you need to save. And there's a lot of good to them. And so, I leave that wholly up to a person and his decision or her decision. And those safes there that they got for Undertaker, those are cool. Those really look good, Rich. Thanks for posting those.
Pretty cool idea. It just kind of shows you what you can do, just kind of customize things and kind of dress them up a little bit. What's crazy is like the safes are getting in like different colors now. Traditionally, it was just gray or black, and now I'm starting to see all white. I'm starting to see like camo. I mean, it's crazy. I think that maybe that's just part of the marketing of safes is like, let's start making them in different colors now, or offer them in different colors to make them, more sellable. So like, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and continue. Foos, what about you, man? What are your thoughts on gun safes? What are your preferences, or what do you think?
So I do have 2. I have one that is a combination that's 10 or so gun safe. That was in my old house when I moved here. I got a 64 gun safe. My main thing is not for security. It is to make sure that I can control the humidity of a smaller area to make sure that the firearms don't start to rot away.
Yeah, if you've got vintage guns, we're talking World War I, World War II, or older, obviously even if you live in a place that can be prone to high humidity, even with humidity control in your home, there's still moisture in the air,
Yeah.
So consider things like the dehumidifiers. Yeah.
Stick goldenrod in each one, and you should be good. And it's a lot easier to regulate that smaller area than your entire house.
So for somebody who doesn't know what a goldenrod is, it's basically a golden rod that you plug in, and what it just produces heat. Is that all it is? Yeah.
It just produces heat, so it keeps it warmer than your outside, or warmer than your house. Basically, and it just dries all the humidity out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And there's also like Stack-On makes like an electronic dehumidifier that changes, like this little sensor changes color when it needs to be plugged back in. You plug it in overnight, and then it dries out the element, and then you put it back in, and it. You know, you can also put some silica gel packets, throw some big packets in there maybe. But that's, again, there's constant wave of air and humidity in your gun safe, even when it's closed, unless it's airtight. But you definitely want to maintain it.
Something I do is I keep all my bolts cracked open, so I allow airflow down the barrel as well.
Okay, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I do. The big gun safe is almost 700 pounds. It's going to be a pain in the butt whenever I move here in a couple months, but it's going to have to be moved.
Yeah. Well, if you wait till the summer, I can help you.
My lease ends at the end of March.
Ooh, okay. So, darn it, man! I'm going to be gone for that one, so I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, gotcha, man. And
then someone else said here that all your ammo should be locked up. Yeah, that's an impossibility.
You could buy some standalone ammo storage cabinets that you can get for like $100 a piece. You could stack, so many boxes in them, but it depends on how you store. If you've got buckets, literally buckets like and not only that, those buckets weigh like 150 pounds. I'm like, not that somebody couldn't take them, but if they're going for like a quick theft situation,
Whenever I moved up here, I counted 57 individual 50 cal ammo cans, spam cans, whatever, and I have increased that probably about 80 whenever I move. So yeah, whenever I move, I'm gonna have probably about 3,500 pounds of ammo to move. So having a safe just for that, to me, if like fire happens, that is going to be much more of an issue than just have it out in loose.
Mm-hmm. I agree. No, I agree, dude. Yeah. All right. MN Mike B, Minnesota Mike B maybe says, bolt your safes or cabinets down. They can't be tipped over to make it easier to get into, and they cannot be taken away. Yeah, if you can anchor them down at all, depends on your living situation, and if you keep them as heavy as possible, but they'll be that much harder to get out unless somebody rolls up in your house with like a two-wheel dolly or something like that,
Well, even you've seen my safe. Two-wheel dolly ain't gonna move that.
No, you got to have probably 4 or 5 full-grown human beings to move that thing out of your house,
Yeah. As I said, it's almost a 700-pound safe empty, and it is completely full.
Now, Outcast has a good point. In my opinion, a safe is just a big target, maybe even a challenge to the right person. To me, it's going to be just something like, with me having an alarm system in the house, it's going to just be it's just going to stall somebody essentially, and the camera's going to be recording them the whole time. So I don't know. I guess to me, it's going to delay them trying to get the stuff out of my house, and I've also got all my images of all my firearms and serial numbers and stuff like that. So if the safe would disappear, something else you could do, guys, I know you're not maybe big fans of it, but put some Apple tags in your safe. Those little air tags that they have that track devices, you could put a tag in it, and anytime it picks up a Wi-Fi signal, it projects its location. So if somebody jacks your safe and they decide to go stop at McDonald's or something, or they roll up into their house and there's an open wire, or any kind of, I don't know how they work exactly. I don't know if it uses cell phone signals, but put an Apple tag in your gun safe too. Think about doing that in case somebody would steal, even like a little portable safe. You can stick them up in there and the person wouldn't even know it's in there. And then you could track your gear down. What's that?
The thing about the safe is if it's in an area that makes it easy to wheel it right out the front door, that's going to give them an advantage. Also, if you're in a neighborhood where somebody rolling up in a big truck with 4 or 5 guys and furniture equipment and wheeling only gun safes out of your house doesn't attract the attention of the neighbors because nobody pays any attention or nobody cares or nobody thinks that's slightly suspicious. That has a little bit to do with your level of security. And then lastly, the fact that they're going to need that sort of thing. If you only own 4 guns it's not going to weigh the safe down enough that two guys couldn't just walk out with a small safe. But if that thing is to the point where when you open the door, guns fall out of the safe, it's going to add so much to the weight that it is going to take 5 guys and a dolly. And
my dad's 64 gun safe weighs 700 pounds. And
yeah,
it took 4 dudes, full-size dudes, and my father, and a 2-wheel dolly, like a significant amount of time. And and here's the thing, they'd have to get it upstairs. So, I mean, not that you couldn't prop it up, but oh my God, I mean, yeah.
At some point, I would like to have a gun room in a garage. And you might go, well, all they got to do is rip open the garage door and wheel out the safe. At that point, then I'll anchor them to the ground. Then I'll have a concrete garage floor, and I'll anchor them to the ground. And, if you're going to go to all that trouble, then, whatever. But, or I might even build a wall inside the garage and that sort of thing. But inside the house, in my house, all the safes are so difficult to get to that, I mean, if you're going to go to all that trouble and time and get that many people and that much equipment and that much, and they weigh so much that, I mean, you're obviously here for more than just the safes.
Here's the other thing too: get a Ring doorbell. The second they roll up, they see the vehicle drive up, the license plates on there, the people walking up to your doors on that Ring footage, or get a camera in your house, yeah.
Well, if you're going to buy a small, cheap safe and put it in a conspicuous location, and it says everything I own that's worth anything is right here in one stop shop, then you're asking for, But safes are not necessarily the first thing somebody sees when they walk into the house, and it's got a big sign on it saying "Take me." So,
Oh no, I agree totally, dude. I agree. All right, let's see here. Also talking, Kingpin. What are your thoughts on this, man? What do you think? You're kind of a handyman. You might be creative on this idea. What do you think, Kingpin?
No one knows that any of you even exist.
Not at all. No.
I guess the problem I have with a lot of the firearms defense type of criminal conversations is they're really unrealistic because nobody cares about any of us. So the type of team that it's going to take to get a 64 gun safe, 2 64 gun safes out of a basement into a truck, like Squib was saying, you are not that important. If you are that important and you've got $1 million guns in your safe and all this other kind of stuff, your security is deep. So the conversation goes to it's a zombie apocalypse conversation. Second, I will give $5,000 to anyone that hears this if you break into a gun safe and don't draw any form of attention. People talk about, oh, gun safe, the right kind of criminal break right into that kind of thing. That right kind of criminal is breaking in to get the crown jewels of England, not your AR-15. Because guess what? If they're really skilled at breaking into a vault, they've got guys that'll sell them guns. I mean, realistically. But if you do a video, it can be your own safe, like Squib was saying. Go into your regular residential neighborhood, not Gun Snob who lives out and his closest neighbor's 80 miles away. Take your angle grinder, cut through your safe. I'll replace your safe. Whatever the cost of your safe, I'll replace that. You can empty it and take all your stuff out so it don't get damaged. And I'm being 100% realistic right now. 100%. I'll buy you a new safe. I'll buy you the angle grinder, and I'll give you $5,000. People act like you can just take a screwdriver and pop the doors off of these safes. It's going to take a long time in your residential neighborhood with me with a grinder and a welder, all the equipment that I got to do to cut the door off of your safe in your house. It's just unrealistic. If you were Brad Pitt or Undertaker and had a whole bunch of really famous guns and a bunch of cash and a bunch of other valuable stuff, I could see a team doing that. But once again, the random guy who's going to break into your house is going to snatch your TV. He's going to snatch your bedside gun. He's going to grab the safe and see if he can think about it. And then he's going to realize I'm standing here by myself or with my buddy over here. Let's just get all the stuff we can and get out of here. The conversation goes really unrealistic when we talk about safes sometimes.
So I think it's Emma and Mike B saying, well, you can just cut into the side of it or the back. He says, yeah, you can use hand tools on most of the metal. It isn't that thick. Well, I mean, it depends on some of these safes we're looking at. It's a thick gauge steel with these bars that go through. And if the hinges are on the inside, you're going to have a hard time cutting through that. So yeah, it would be easier just to cut through the metal, but almost think doing that, you're going to spray the inside with sparks too. Good luck not lighting something up on fire in the process,
But plus, we're also talking about in a robbery situation. I'm being extremely lax and saying you could do it in the privacy of your own home. You're in, whether it's in the middle of the night or the middle of the day. If it's the middle of the night at 2 a.m, all that equipment sound and all that moving around is going to draw attention. If it's the middle of the day, hey, everybody knows Rob D in the neighborhood, and they know he didn't say anything about having his house remodeled while he was at work today. So, hey, what's going on? Maybe I'll snap a picture.
Yeah, it's true. Armor Rebellion 47 says he's more worried about a fire versus criminals breaking and entering. So that's part of it too, is fire protection. I mean, it may or may not preserve the guns. It might do something to save them, especially depending on how you have your guns insured and stuff. It might prevent a total loss.
But Kingpin, you're forgetting, in Rob's case, his neighbors are the ones who will be stealing his guns.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But, and I'm not against, I think Single Shot said it best. Your situation is the best for your situation. For me, I don't like the idea of a gun safe, but I also buy a lot of guns. So I don't have the space or the patience to buy another 64 gun safe, another 64 gun safe, another 6. So I developed, and I also have the availability to do such a thing in my room. I built that safe room. I've got a room in my room where you can't get into it unless I let you in it. So, and of course, you could cut my house down and the tornado could, rip the roof off my house, and all the zombies could come in and do all these different kinds of things. But I did what I could do for me. If you buy a lot of guns, you probably should, talk to your family about taking one of the rooms and turning it into a safe room and making that your gun room, because you're going to have a whole bunch of safes. And what happens when you move or you get divorced or something happens and whatever, and you got to start selling these safes? What's the resale value on a safe? Do you guys usually get, if you spent $800 on a safe and it's 10 years old, will you still get that $800 for it? I don't know what that market's like.
I don't know, man. That's a good question. I'm not sure. I don't know. Because you don't really see a whole lot of them, so it's hard telling. But yeah. All right. Hey, joining us, we got Artisan Tony checking in. So Tony, I made the announcement about the Manus Blackbeard X. Did you want to say anything about that? I told people that I was going to be doing a review video, and they can comment on the video. Then they're going to want to head over to your channel, and I'll give them the details on that for the live drawing. What do you want to say, Tony? Why don't you introduce yourself and say whatever you want to say, man?
Hey guys, how's it going?
We're good, man. We're doing good. We're just having a little discussion on safes before we start looking at different options and models and prices and stuff like that. So what are your thoughts on gun safes, man? What do you think?
Oh, I just wanted to stop by and say hi. I sorry I'm late. I had a customer go late on a early morning meeting. But
no problem, man.
I hope everybody will participate. It's going to be an awesome giveaway. And Mantis has always been really nice to give us these things. So I always count on Travis to do the reviews. Well, this is the second one you've done to help me out, right?
Yeah. The first one I just did was just a regular Manus, whatever series system it was. Yeah.
He's better at these things, so.
I know how to talk.
Yeah.
Too much. But I'm looking forward to trying it because, again, it's one of those things. I like the Manus system, and the other system is fairly affordable, but this guy's pushing, $320. So, it's going to be a definitely higher price point. But it also has more mechanics to it than just a little laser recorder and a piece of software. I think it does offer a lot more. So, yeah.
So we're going to try to give it away before Christmas so someone can either keep it or give it away as a Christmas present. So that'll be
cool. I'm hoping to make the review for it this weekend or this week and definitely get it out there. We'll ship it to you and get it to you as soon as we can. Hopefully you guys will have it for the holidays. And yeah, it's going to be pretty cool.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks, Travis, for helping out.
No problem, man. I appreciate it.
Did we decide they could make a comment on your both channels, right? And we'll figure.
Yeah, they'll comment on on my channel for my review, and then when you're live streaming, I'll go back to that video and we'll pick a random comment on that video, and then that'll be the person that's going to win. But you'll be able to do the talking, and I can talk about how the system ran and what I thought about it, and we can maybe talk about the video that I made and stuff, and people can go check out your channel too. So I'll put a link to your channel so they can go over there and at least know where to go, and if they want to subscribe, they can, and if they want to just be there just to watch the video, they can do that too. That's an option. So yeah.
But the interesting thing about it is that I think we have different viewers, different styles of viewers. So that'll be interesting to see.
I don't know, because I came in under the Gun Channel's family, like you guys, and a lot of us, kind of all have come from that area. But there's also a lot of new people that we picked up. But this is true. There's like little galaxies of gun channels all across YouTube. I'll go watch some other YouTuber I've never seen before, like Chris. He's got a whole crew of people that watch his live streams that I've never seen them before. I've never heard of them before. I've never recognized any of their screen names. So there's just little different populations of people, I think, that follow certain people. So it might be interesting to see what kind of clientele we have, who's watching.
I just meant my channel's kind of mixed with construction stuff. And so sometimes they're like, what is this? It's cool gun stuff. That's what it is, dudes.
Wait, we got guns and blueprints? That's sweet.
That's right. Gotta have a hobby. Gotta have hobbies too. You can't just work all the time.
No, this is true.
I didn't mean to interrupt the gun safe talk. I had a chance to pop in, so I thought I'd come say hi and say thanks to everybody.
So Kingpin's pretty fast on the draw. He put a link out there to your channel, and Artisan Tony's one of the OGs of the gun channel. If there's we'll have discussions about guns. He'll have footage of him shooting that gun at the range. It doesn't matter what it is. He's shot pretty much everything and anything, So yeah.
Kingpin's awesome. We did a few shows together.
Can I interject just one more quick time?
Dude, go ahead.
A big shout out to Artisan Tony. He, like Travis said, he is definitely Gun Channel's OG. And Tony does a lot of support for a lot of different people and a lot of 2A stuff that nobody knows about. It's super duper quiet, and it's a lot of stuff that, and like Travis said, from back in the day, a lot of reason that we have what we have now, Tony was a big part of doing that. So definitely a big shout out to Tony. We appreciate
it. Honestly, sometimes I think it's the people who, especially in the gun community, you need those people who are really vocal. You know what I mean? Because we don't really have enough. And I've just never thought my voice was that good. That's why I get people, like Travis to help, because he's good at doing reviews. And so I've always been cognizant of the fact that when you're trying to get a message out, it's the people, just simple people talking about guns on a weekly basis is, you know what I mean? That's valuable, and so it takes all types, I think,
Cool, man.
Especially people who are willing to get, to share their opinion. It's like me on Twitter. Sometimes I get blasted by people, to the point to where it's almost unbearable.
You and Rich, man, I just discovered you guys are pretty funny out there. So yeah. Oh, that's all right, man. No.
Anyway, I gotta go back to work, unfortunately.
All right.
So I appreciate you guys. Appreciate all you guys.
No, dude. Hey, we appreciate everything you've done, laying the foundation for where we are.
Y'all are really the salt of the earth of the gun community, really. So that's why I like being involved with you guys.
Well, dude, we got a great panel. We got great viewers. We're still having fun. I'm still doing this show five years later. Because there's always something to talk about. It seems like, and it's fun interacting with people and sharing and talking, and
which is a task. I think we did like 50 some odd shows on Monday Night Live back in the day, and it was work. Work. So going 5 years is really a thing. So all right. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. Dude, you take care. Have a good weekend. All right, don't work too hard.
Thanks.
All right, cool.
See you.
Thanks, man. Little shout out to Tara Smith's Kitchen. Get out there and subscribe. She says, I have a walk-in closet turned into a safe. I also need 9 more subs to reach 400. All help is appreciated. Kingpin over there did post the link to her channel. He put Tara Smith, and the link is there for her YouTube channel. Get over there and subscribe. She's got a lot of cool videos, a lot of great cooking videos, some motorcycle videos, a little bit of everything going on. some good stuff. So get over there and show some love, so show some support. So Hillbilly Up said, Tara Smith, you get yourself a new sub. So that brings us back to American Hillbilly. Hillbilly Up, what are your thoughts on gun safes, gun lock boxes, gun lockers? What are you thinking, man?
Well, I only have one small one, a smaller one, and we mainly use it just to store stuff in. Like, we do have like some, a few guns and stuff in there, some ammo or this and that, but mainly just for valuables that we might not want to get, burnt in a fire, something like that. I'm, really not worried about somebody breaking in the house. I think, it like depends a lot on where you live at and stuff. I mean, our door's never locked until we go to bed at night, and that's only for somebody else's safety, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so, there's just a lot of things. I always keep my handy bug assault rifle right here next to me to shoot flies with, though.
How many critters that make their way into the home, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as far as a break-in or whatever, they have to get by our two Aussies to start out with, and then, the neighbors would notice, a different car. I mean, our neighbors kind of spread out, but there's only one road coming in and out, so we all notice, new cars and stuff like that. Most of my stuff, like I have a pistol right at our front door, up high, kind of, high reach. And then I have one at the back door. And then of course, like where sleep at and stuff. So as far as the gun safety deals like that, the only thing we have to worry about is when one of the grandkids would come over or something like that. But they're always put up high enough that, they can't be reached. One thing I do like, I did order one of those shelf with the hidden compartment that pops open and everything. You use a card like this, or they got little deals can go on your keys or whatever. And I really like that. And so I ordered one. I seen how it worked and everything. So I just built more of them. And when we remodeled our house, I built ones like in the walls and, closet and all that. So a lot of our stuff's, in those hidden deals. And then of course I have a couple old gun cabinets, the wooden with the glass doors, that has the key and lock, So, that's kind of the gist of that for me personally. And we build a new house, which we're hoping to do for too long. I'll build a concrete big bunker in there, because we do have tornadoes around here too. So we need a tornado shelter also.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's kind of the gist for, me and in this area and the stuff. I think, it's probably different if I live somewhere else, I might would, consider something different. But one thing I have seen is, like people like gun safes, where the house caught on fire, and then later on they get them, cut open or whatever the case might be. And most usually they're not melted, but everything's rusted from water damage and stuff.
A lot of times.
And so
also time to consider maybe getting a rider policy on your guns. Cause I know like me, my progressive home renter's insurance policy only covers my guns up to $800. And that's it. And that'll cover like one, it's like, so I have to have, I do need to get additional coverage on those, like just in case something would happen to them. And me being in an apartment complex, there's a higher probability that you could have a fire than a house, just in general.
Yeah.
So that's something to worry about too. Yeah.
But,
that's why you need to use liberal amounts of gun oil all over your guns. That's why mine are slathered in every gun video I do. So if you get water on them, you can just clean them quickly, and you're going to be able just buy all stainless steel, buy all Marine Coat guns, and then you don't have to worry about it.
There you go.
Stainless steel. Yeah. So New York Outcast, I was going to say something that I thought was kind of cool that, that Hillbilly here is talking about, these built-in options and the coffee tables with the shelves that pop out and the bedside, whatever, and the guns pop out. So hidden shelves are known by just about everybody by now, that like under the bed and back of the closet at this point. Yeah, there's some neat ones though, where you can get like a mantle and it just looks like a mantle. You press a button and like your your M4 slides out from the bottom, you know. So there are some neat options, or coffee tables where it looks like a coffee table, but you can like push a button and it lifts up, and there's John Wick, you know, 2.0 sitting in there. So yeah, there's a lot of other options that you can go with if you don't want to. The one thing, you know, you're talking about the grandkids. The one thing I will tell people, let me just lecture people for a second. Make sure that if there's grandkids over, either you or their parents, let those children know that those guns are not toys. They're not to be played with, even if their friends come over, because that's
100%.
yeah, I mean, that's just it. And I know we're preaching to the choir here, but you'd be amazed. Like my best friend's daughters, you know, had no experience with guns. And when the family came over, we were talking, I showed them, I said, you know, these are obviously mine are locked when they're here, except for what's on me. And they know that I shoot and I go to the range. I said, you know, these are dangerous. These are not toys. You do not touch them. You do not pick them up. If you see one, you let me or your dad or your mom know, you know, so like kind of give them a heads up in case the family would ever come over. But still, it's important to do that. You know, I know that, again, a lot of us would do that kind of thing, but sometimes people are just ignorant, you know, they don't know that they should have done that in the first place. So don't think that just locking your gun up and not telling your kid about it's a good thing. So the kid would never stumble upon it. They might be curious about it and say, oh, I've got this in the video game. Boom, you know. So yeah.
100%. I brought my kids up and the grandkids same way I was raised, you know, and like the older grandkids, you know, they even know they know like the hidden deals, like whatever. So, and, you know, they're explaining to them, you know, what it is. They literally see us shoot, you know, and stuff like that. And so it keeps them from being curious, you know, because I mean, all of us as kids, you know, if we're curious about something, you know, we're going to check it out, you know. And it's like I told them, it's like anytime you have questions, you want to look at something like this or whatever, you know, you let us know and we'll get it out and, you know, stuff like that. And so that's kind of the way I was brought up and the way we do with our children and grandchildren. So, but if you're kind of handy a little bit, it is really fun making your own hidden, you know, place, you know, cabinet or whatever the case is. You can buy the lock mechanisms, everything, you get all that online. And so it's a lot of fun doing that. You know, it's just, I had really a lot of fun, you know.
Yeah. No, that is cool. And again, that market's kind of exploded for those little hidden career. I'm always seeing stuff on Facebook where they're showing, you know, mantles and stuff like that. And you get the doors, you just kind of frame it in your wall and stuff, and you can have your own little picture that you open up and boom, you got access to your firearms right there. So, oh man. So what do we got here? Grumpy Bear says, I just don't have strangers in my house. Pretty simple. Well, that, you know, that's a good idea too. It's hard for us being, you know, public figures on YouTube and people not knowing that we own firearms. A good chunk of what you've seen in my videos are not my own, just as a disclaimer, just let people know, but still. All right, so we'll go and take a look at what's actually out there. I've only got 4 tabs open. So guys, if you want to make any comments or if you notice any questions out there in the chat, just let me know. So we'll just take a look at the first one here. Or if you guys want to say anything, just feel free to, panelists, if you guys want to say anything, just feel free to join in. So like, I guess you would call like the 800-pound gorilla or the 800-pound elephant, whatever it is in the room, is, you know, Liberty gun safes. Because when you search for gun safes, these are one of the first brands that are going to pop up. And I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. In fact, the brands that I own, I don't think we're even really going to take a look at. So like, for example, we got the Liberty Centurion. One thing I want to say real quick is when you buy a gun safe, whatever it's quoted at storing. So like here is I don't even know what this is, the Centurion 12, which is like a 12 gun safe. You're basically going to get realistically half the capacity of what you're buying. And the reason why is because when you put optics on your guns, they're going to stick out. They're going to run into the guns on the other side. Handles, bolts, the spacing on these things is so close that accessories and stuff, you might not be able to put the guns side by side without staggering them or getting some like rods to some dowels to put down the barrels and so on. So whatever you're going to get, whatever you have for guns, whatever you want to put in the safe, buy double the number. Trust us, you'll appreciate it down the road.
I think they measure how many guns those things hold by using Nerf guns.
Or like deer rifles without optics and anything on them. Even like your slings are going to start to get in the way and stuff. So these are things I've run into. And if you're into all things tactical and you got vertical foregrips and you've got lasers and lights, all that stuff is going to take up space in your gun safe. So just keep that in mind. Usually they have a lot of cool configuration options inside, like where you put the shelves and how you set them up and stuff. And, you know, some of them just come with like flat shelves you can put in, or if you want the racks, you can use them too. So like here's your Centurion 12, which is $799. Looks like you can get 10% off site-wide over at Liberty Safe's website. And these are American made, by the way. Now they've got different levels of security. Like this is a level 1 security. It's rated at 30 minutes at 1200 degrees, 7 locking bars. It weighs 245 pounds, the safe alone. And then you can choose the size that you want. There's a Centurion 18, a Centurion 24. Colors available with black hardware, gray fabric, and lock type is going to be the Secure RAM top lit keypad. And again, I don't know what Liberty's warranty looks like and stuff. I'm assuming they're a good company. I don't know. I mean, they seem to be pretty popular. For me, this is kind of like a bucket list safe if I was going to get one. This is definitely a good place to look or a good place to start. Now, it doesn't mean that 1 or 2 people out there hasn't had a negative experience with them saying, well, you're after warranty repairs, so we won't replace your keypad for you, because on some of these things, I really think that it should be 100% covered lifetime unless it's proved that you're negligent and you damage the safe in some way, shape, or form, especially for what you're paying for these things. Plus, if I get good customer service, you're going to make me a customer for life, and that's a brand that I'm going to promote to other people that I know too. So, I mean, that's just one thing about these. Like, I've heard horror stories about Canon and stuff, but my dad's experience has been positive other than the fact that they kind of disappeared for a little while. So when you go to the Liberty website, like this is one of their least expensive ones you can buy into. And then they have like level 2 security, level 3 security, level 4, level 5, level 7, level 8. That's going to be like the thickness of the steel and the number of bars you get that go around the door, and the type of mechanisms that you get that go along with it. So like here's the Freedom series. This is level 2 security. Again, 40 minutes at 1200 degrees. And also read the reviews on these things. Like this one gets 4 out of 5 stars. I'm kind of curious why. What's the complaint about it? Why wouldn't you give it 5 stars? Let's see what people say. It's always kind of nice to read the information on it, if they even have it up here. Here we go. So like this guy gives it 3 out of 5. Could be better. May 5th of 2022. He goes, it has a few flaws. No UL rating. Metal is paper thin. There's a gap large enough to put a wrecker ball in all the way around the door to pry on it. Bolting it down is a joke. The metal's so thin I can easily move it around with concrete anchors in the floor. I'm pretty sure I can easily tear the metal around the studs and washers and tip it over easily. The quality and value are lacking at this price point. The carpet on the shelves wasn't done well. I mean, this guy's going off on it. So my recommendation to you is if you want to buy one of these things, you really should maybe go to a gun store. It'd be nice if you could buy it in person, obviously support that facility or that mom and pop or that gun store instead of buying it, online. But definitely check these out in person, because is the metal really paper thin? What's the gauge rating on the metal? Can you guys explain to me? You guys are kind of handyman. What's the UL rating? Is that going to be resistance to electrical conduction or what?
The UL is Underwriters Laboratory. They do different tests, and then they more or less it's how do I explain it? The manufacturer might require UL to do the tests on the safe to prove that they have actually hired a third party to prove that it's got certain fire rating or something like that. Underwriters Laboratories is kind of like the industry standard. There, if you've got a UL certification, it means you paid a third party who has no interest in lying about the data.
And plus, you might get like a little piece of paper inside saying inspected by 147.
Yeah.
So you got to understand with the fire ratings on the safes, that it's rated against a certain amount of heat for a certain amount of time. That's not going to stop smoke from getting in there. It's not going to stop water from getting in there. And that sort of damage can really ruin a firearm. It could ruin paperwork that's in there. But it might be somewhat salvageable. Okay, maybe the stock is ruined, or some of your paperwork is brown, but it's still legible, or it's still this or so. So you're going to suffer some sort of damage especially like if your safe's in the basement and they fill the house with water, stuff's going to happen. But it's better than losing it entirely. And in my opinion, the better fire rating you can get, the better off you are. If you can spend a little bit of extra money and get a double fire rating on it, or because some of them they'll put 2 liners in there, they'll have an inner and an outer, and that sort of thing. It's going to buy you more time, more or less.
Okay.
I recommend using the internet for what it's made for, and finding, once again, going back to the luckiness that we have of the Gun Channels crew and the people that we hang out with. because when you guys start talking about UL ratings and 00 BN steel, I don't know what any of that means, and I don't care what any of that means. So some salesman is going to throw all those terms at me, and I'm going to end up buying a tin can. When all you got to do is take a few seconds and go to a Travis P11, a Squid Load, or a Christmas 740, and look at a bunch of different YouTube videos and reviews and stuff, and learn about, like that one guy said, you know, you got 88 gauge steel, and he said he was ripping it out of his floor. So I don't know what 88 gauge steel means, but I trust Travis to look up 88 gauge steel and tell me what that really means. So use the internet for what, and your friendship networks to figure out stuff that you don't know.
I'd say the friendship network is a lot more reliable than, say, big YouTuber Channel X with 1.5 million subs, who's going to, you know, put the bills before integrity. But that's just my opinion.
No, I totally 100% agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah, and what I'm noticing is as the price point goes up, it isn't necessarily the size. Like this is just a 30 gun safe, and this costs more than their entry level 30 gun safe, the Centurion series. You know, this guy's pushing $18.99, starting at $18.99, but you're getting more stuff with it. Again, UL listed safe body, you know, 3 hardened steel drill resistant lock plates, 60 minutes of fire protection at 1200 degrees, 6 locking bars. I don't know if the locking bars number really matters, because like that lower level one had 7, this has 6, but this for some reason this is level 3 security. So, you know, also just again, a good insurance policy is probably going to be just as good as anything else. There was somebody that made a comment about that. Who was it? Was it Grumpy Bear? Somebody had made a comment saying that after hanging with somebody that, you know, that understands, like, you know, or looking at fire. What was it? Grumpy Bear said, after talking to a buddy of mine that's watched whole structure fires, safes acts as a furnace and cook your guns. Best thing to do is have insurance. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's more about maybe theft, just kind of keeping hands out or buying time until I could get back home, or somebody else could get back home, or somebody comes in the house, so the alarm goes off or whatever, you know.
He's right about the insurance, and that's really a personal choice. Some people don't believe in insurance. Some people buy crappy, cheap insurance. I can tell you that my insurance policy covers my safes in the event of theft or fire or flood or something like that. They'll actually replace my safes. The guns that are inside are on a rider. They're not part of the regular policy. I have to pay an extra fee for the guns in the safes. Now, the other stuff that are in the safes, like the portable hard drives or whatever that's in there, that stuff is covered by the insurance. But it's really kind of interesting how that works. So make sure that on your renters or homeowners policy that guns are covered, and find out if they have a certain dollar amount. Like in the car insurance company that I use, if I did my home insurance through them, they have a limit on how many guns they're going to insure. That was a deal breaker for me. I had to go with another company that didn't have a limit. I thought that was kind of just crappy. They're probably not going to have anything that's going to say they require you to have a safe or something else like that, but find out what's covered and what's not and under what circumstances.
I wonder if like US Law Shield or USCCA or even the NRA has special gun insurance you can get, and whether or not it's actually worth it. I'm kind of curious, you know.
I think NRA does. It
might be worth looking into and look at the feedback that people say about it, or ask in their circles, hey, does anybody here have NRA gun insurance? What do you guys think about it? What kind of information do they need? Because it's one of those things where you've got thousands of dollars wrapped up in, plus, you know, something would happen, you're left with nothing. You know, you'd have to go buy something if you want something for self-defense, or just having another gun, you have to start all over again. Just maybe consider getting something, even if it's like, let's say $100 a year, $120 a year. You know, it's just look at the $1,500 you dropped into your gun before accessories and stuff. It's definitely worth looking into. So on the high end here, just because Rob D had made a comment, New York Outcast had said that $1,800 safe was worth more than the car that he drives. How about this one, Outcast? $7,599 for the presidential line of the Liberty safes. This one actually weighs more than Rob's Honda Civic. It's 1,021 pounds, and it's level 8 security, 2.5 hours, fire rated at 1,200 degrees, 12 locking bars. But I'm sure there's probably a YouTube channel out there that shows you how to break into this in 45 seconds. I guarantee there's somebody out there that's got like some plasma torch and they just whiz down the right side and the door falls off or something, right? You know, so I mean, but I mean, honestly, kind of like what Kingpin says, you know, how realistic is that something like that's going to happen? Because most of your common thieves are not going to spend time trying to haul a 1,000-pound safe out of your house.
Yeah.
You know,
Or if it's a safe that's so big that you can buy it when you're having your house built and you can have it put down in the basement and build a house around it. I mean, this one is a little bit small for that. You're talking more vault, but it is something you could potentially do. If you've got to have people that move pianos for a living, move your gun safe, I'd say you've got a pretty heavy gun safe.
Now, this one does come in like 12 different colors, though, Squib. And it also has, you can have 24 karat gold hardware if you want to.
Oh, I've seen some really nice ones. You open them up, they're lit with LED lights, and everything's on roller bearings. And I mean, you can get some really fancy safes. So one thing about the safe, if I was to get a really big, expensive safe with a bunch of features, it would be because I finally made a dedicated gun room, and I just don't know that I'm ever going to have that in my life where this room is nothing but guns and that's all it's for.
Yeah, I hear you, man. And here's the thing: $10,300. You can almost put an addition on your. You could build a safe room in your garage for that kind of money.
Is that thing tucked in there, or is that set up like a room? That in the background there?
Oh, that one right there, the one that you're looking at right now.
Yeah, is that a like a walk-in closet type safe?
I think it's in a place of their entertainment center. They're saying television is no longer important. They pulled out their entertainment center and they just have it tucked in between, and they built their cabinets around it. So.
See, that would be better.
I like that.
TV and get a gun safe.
I'd want that in the basement. I don't think I'd want that upstairs. You can say, hey guys, it just tells people, hold me at gunpoint, open my gun safe, and empty it for me, kind of thing. I don't know. I'd rather have it in the basement. Not that it's not cool. Don't get me wrong. That's a cool, MTV Cribs edition, to the home. But I will give Liberty some credit. They do make some nice looking gun safes. Raw Feeding was saying that Liberty's based out of his hometown. So Raw Feeding, where is that? Where are these guys based out of? Give us a heads up. I'm going to go back to I went to the presidential, and I was just going to max one out just for the heck of it and see what the presidential 50, which is their 50 gun safe. We're going to go with this. What do we got? Bronze and gloss beige velour. We're going to get away from that ivory going on. I'm not feeling that. So we'll go ahead. Oh, you can actually pay more money and get different colors too, by the way. You have an option here. If you want to go with this one, it's an extra $1,100. This is gray, charcoal, and silver velour. And then we're going to go ahead and add 24 karat gold hardware to it. Oh, there we go. There we go. So, okay, starting at $10,299. They don't actually tell me what the price is, though. It's $10,299 web direct. So, yeah. You can have mechanical or you can have electric. Somebody had also mentioned that it's nice going through a company where you can also choose. Like you can swap out if you'd rather go back to mechanical, you have an option to versus electric. That'd be kind of nice to have that option also. So I went ahead and dropped us out of Liberty just because, they started at $800, but let's look at something maybe a little more price friendly out there. Are we missing any comments right now? I'm just double checking to make sure to see what I got. No questions out there. Somebody had mentioned State Farm. Defense Ed said I've got State Farm, and renter's insurance only covers a dollar amount for theft. Not guns specifically, so if they steal your guns and electronics, you're not getting it all covered. Yeah, you got to keep that in mind because it's just guns are always like their own separate thing. I don't know if it's just because of it's hard to value them, or just because of the prices on them can fluctuate versus like a 65-inch TV where here's your check for what they're going for now, or here's what you paid for your TV. Yeah.
On my rider, it's replacement value, and I set the replacement value. They don't set it. So I tell them the gun and then what it would cost to replace it, and that's what it's insured for. And some people might not like that because, oh, no, they've got a list of your guns. Oh, whatever. Okay, I'm not even going down that whatever,
I'm a gun tuber.
But there are places that won't have that. They'll have their blue book value or whatever, I wanted a policy that said that you paid $400 for it, but 20 years later, it's worth $2,400. You're going to get $2,400 to replace it. That sort of thing. Yes.
Yeah, that's just part of the problem too. Is that MSRP could be double. I mean, it could be double now versus what it was 4 years ago, right? Or most of these guns have gone up 25%. And so are you going to get that value back on it? Probably not. Thomas Reese says you can create fire stops if you're building a gunroom safe cubby by layering 3/4-inch drywall with no airspace around your safe to help with heat protection and use a steel door to make a closet. So that's not a bad idea.
I work for a contractor, and we do thankfully a lot of rich people's houses, and there's a lot of different creative ways. We built a few rooms. Like, we don't actually put the safe doors up and all the security features. We just build the space where they're going to put it. And there's a lot of different materials out there nowadays that you can use that are different types of density and different types of fireproof and still look like regular house facade stuff. So there's a lot of different options for home security if you're building something.
Even like putting one in a closet and just closing the door because it just looks like it's another closet. You wouldn't think, if you're just going through a house and doing a smash and grab,
Well, also,
So, yeah.
the last one we did, we bumped out a room. It was probably 10 feet long by about 8 feet wide, just a square room. And when we finished putting the drywall up and painting the basement, all it looked like was, especially if you looked the way that the designer built it, if you look from the outside of the house, it looked like that's where the house turned. So when you got to that wall, you were thinking there was nothing but dirt on the other side of that wall, when really it's a whole nother room.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and that's just it. If you go through contractor, especially when you're doing a new build or a remodel, you've got a lot of options too. So that might be a reason to remodel the house because you need to make an addition for the guns.
It helps to be rich. Just
oh yeah,
give you a heads up. All that new material is old material is extremely expensive. The fancy
Kingpin, you did a wonderful job on my apartment. Thank you. My little gun nook where I can sit and have my coffee and do my podcast. So that's cool, man. Yeah, it is neat when you get the money for those options. I bet it's you probably see some pretty cool designs and ideas. So Raw Feeding 101 says Payson, Utah. Payson, Utah is where Liberty gun safes are located. Artisan Tony says, I built a few homes for people that have concrete vaults built into the foundation, but they didn't want the blank shown. Oh, they didn't want that shown on the plans. Yeah, because those plans, I get it. You want to try to keep that stuff private. You don't want to advertise what you do to the world, So that makes sense. Yeah. Having multiple safes with guns in multiple places, not a bad idea. Instead of putting them all in one spot. Let's see. Hillbilly Up. I can share that if you want to. I just didn't know if you wanted that stuff kind of made public. I wasn't really gonna. I know you don't worry a whole lot, but
it's fine.
I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out. I'm excited to see what you got.
And it's a great conversation piece for your friends.
Absolutely. So here's another one. I was just kind of looking around for the heck of it. I wonder because I was kind of curious about Winchester because they have a lot of gun safes that advertise like at Tractor Supply Company and stuff like that, and other stores. And I was just kind of curious to see if Winchester even had a standalone website or if they're just marketed by somebody else, like if it's just a rebadge cannon or something.
It's probably rebadge.
Well, they've got an entire line, though. If you go under the gun safe line, they've got a ton of options. But just for the heck of it, I was looking to see what they got. They got the Big Daddy XLT. I think this one's named after Hillbilly Up, the Big Daddy XLT. Again, after the prices we saw over on the Liberty website, $3,252 is a bargain. But like looking at it, I can already see some of the design differences, like what you're not getting with it. You got external instead of internal hinges. I'm kind of curious about the 75-minute fire rating instead of 2.5 hours. But still, it's not. I think this is enough to deter most people from wanting to take your guns out of your home. Just having something there. You can go electronic or mechanical. But yeah, if you go over to WinchesterSafes.com, they've got a whole, like I went to Gun Safes, they've got a whole different, bunch of different lines you can buy from. They've got the Ranger series, the Legacy. Usually the number is going to indicate the number of guns that it'll store. But like I said, buy the double number versus the number of guns you have, or buy two and then buy double and you'll be fine. In fact, Winchester is doing buy 3 gun cabinets, get the 4th one free. So there you go. Just buy 3 and get one free and be done with it. Right.
They never fit as many as advertised.
No. We mentioned that earlier. You'll get half. If you're lucky, you're going to get half of what it says, because the way you put the shelving in, like they're just all crammed together, and the way that they turn, the U that they form, like the guns at the back of the U and the guns poking out are going to hit each other, especially if you've got pistol grips on these things. If you've got, vertical foregrips, if you want to put any kind of magazines in them at all while they're in the safe, they're going to be sticking out into the middle of it. Optics are going to press the gun out. You're going to need to get dowels to keep them upright because the shelves are going to be taller than the gun, even with the buttstocks extended. So, Winchester would be a place to check. I know that they advertise a lot. Like, I've seen them like a Tractor Supply Company or, like Orscheln's, or even a lot of your hardware stores carry them and stuff. It's like, here's the Ranger 34, 60-minute fire rating. You can choose, got a gunmetal or black. So these are kind of on the higher end. A lot of the Winchesters I've seen, they're like $1,000 or less. So also it might pay to check locally, because you may find some better prices. Like I know like Shields has them on sale, and Tractor Supply Company will have them marked down. Like for Black Friday, they'll knock $300 or $400 off of them. Like I said, mainly because they want to move that inventory out before the end of the year. So Winchester's a brand to check out. Canon is another company to check out. I mean, like I said, I got a lot of criticism on the Canon safe video that I did, but here I am 3 or 4 years later. My dad still uses it. He still goes into it quite often. Never had problems except for the trouble of changing the passcode. But the safe itself is robust and well built and heavy as hell. And I mean, you'd have to really have some knowledge and some desire to want to go into that thing. John Z says, get a Canon with laser detection. Yeah, there we go. DIY safes. Many people make them out of old pop machines. But if I was breaking into somebody's house and they had a pop machine, I'd probably want to grab a soda, and then I hit the button and nothing happens and the door pops open. And yeah, I've seen a lot of the old soda machines have been converted into gun safes. But man, for the time and cost of that thing, if you really want to protect your guns, just get a safe. But they're cool. They're a novelty. I think it's kind of neat seeing that people do stuff like that. Now let's go on the exact kind of opposite of the budget end. Let's go with what I started off with, your gun cabinets, your security cabinets. They're going to give you the least amount of protection, I would say, from theft, just because they're not as heavy as safes. But for a lot of people, they're a budget-friendly option. I guess you could say it's just a deterrent, if anything. So like Stack-On are fine for what they are, $150 gun cabinet on the low end. They're still heavy when you put them together. They're still heavy when you fill them up and stuff. But they're also fairly inexpensive. And I think it's a good start if you just want something. You can still anchor them and bolt them, depending on your living situation, into the studs of your wall or into the concrete. Not that you couldn't just rip into one of these with a Sawzall, but I'm just saying. So like 14 gun security cabinet, I've seen these for like $150 on sale, $100 on sale. And they used to throw in like a little pistol, gun vault with it. So here they show it, it's all shotguns. Of course, that's the only 14 things you're going to fit in that. It's going to be shotguns. You try to do anything with, optics on that back shelf, and it's going to be poking itself out into the guns off to the left and right. But again, they're not bad. As somebody that owns one, I can say that it's definitely a good start, and it was a good budget-friendly way to get into it. And I kind of wish I would have bought a nice, expensive, heavy safe. Of course, I moved, and I would have had to bring that thing with me. So, but again, it's a good start for somebody if you just want to lock your ammo up or just have a place to store stuff so stuff's not sitting around, and maybe you don't have a lot of room to let your guns sit out on display. I know Sandhills Media was saying that he likes to decorate his home with his guns. I do too. I'm all about that. But this is a nice little budget-friendly option. Armed Rebellion says, I started off with a Stack-On safe. John C says gun lockers are not a bad idea for multiple storage. Yeah, you can put them in multiple spots in your home. And like I said, you can still anchor them and bolt them down. So somebody isn't going to just walk off with it. They would have to tear it out of the steel to get it out of your home. So that's something to think about too. So that was just an option. Now Stack-On also makes, let's see here, little security cases, security cabinets. They've got all kinds of different options, like biometric safes and little combination locks and gun boxes and stuff like that, which isn't a bad idea. If you live in an apartment complex and there's a possibility somebody could come into your home, say a maintenance person, or just it's not secure as a house, you might want to just think about maybe locking your pistols up during the day so that they're just not open and available. So if something would happen, you could at least say that the guns were locked up at the time they were stolen. So just think about that. So anyway, Stack-On, nice budget-friendly option. And then Hornady has purchased, they bought another company. I can't remember who it was, but they bought out another company, and they now manufacture their gun safes. I know there's that LifePod thing that Colin Noir was advertising for. It's a little portable gun vault. Those are pretty nice. I've seen them in person. They're fairly well built. Costco actually carried them and had them on sale for like half price for Black Friday, I think this year, or they had them on sale for the holidays last year. So those LifePods are pretty cool. And the last one that I wanted to show off was just what Hornady had to offer too, because they just basically bought another company and they just put their own label on it. And they've also got their own that they manufacture, but they do a lot of just secure cabinets, security cases, lock boxes. They've got biometric. They've got little spring open. They've got the rapid safes that have biometric and key tags that will pop open and stuff. So if you got kids running around the house and you do want to lock your firearms up and you want to be careful and you trust your children, but just say don't touch that if that's not enough. There's a lot of options out there, and some of these cost as much as a small gun vault or gun cabinet. They can get very expensive, but they're also an option that you can go into, and they're usually readily available, and they're just an easy, quick way to get into it. I've got a couple little gun vaults that I've done videos on just to kind of show off what they offer, and what to think about doing, as low as $25 up to whatever you want to spend when it comes to these things. Here's an ammo cabinet that they sell. So if you just want to have a place to organize and stack your ammo, it's nice having even shelving space where you might not have that somewhere else in your home. Of course, that's $629. I mean, you can almost just build yourself a rack system or shelf system for that price, but you wouldn't have any kind of security with it. So, but again, and some of these you can convert them to ammo cabinets by putting in shelves. And so that's another option that you have too. So really a lot of it just kind of comes down to budget is going to be the big thing for starters. The second part's going to be, capacity. How big do you need to go? And then, third's going to be what kind of security features do you want on it? When it comes to brands, I mean, if you don't know what to start with, you could go Liberty or Canon or Winchester as a starter. Stack on if you just need something to lock something up. Maybe you've got a spouse or whatever, or a roommate, and somebody's demanding you lock your guns up or whatever. I'm just saying, you've got lots of options you can buy into, starting at like $150 and kind of going up from there. So, yeah, New York Outcast says anything that size can easily be carried out in a backpack. I know Outcast, I get you, but I'm just saying it's locked up. So if they get into your home, whether you're there or getting ready or whatever, at least it's locked up so they can't just readily use the firearm on you or somebody else. They would have to get it out of your home physically. And so just from a mobility standpoint, I guess it adds a little extra layer for whatever reason, but
it doesn't matter what you try to show on the screen, how much it costs, how easy it is to get, how hard it is to steal, doesn't matter. Outcast is going to find a problem with it.
Well, no, and like I said earlier, my little disclaimer was no matter what safe videos I put up, there's always somebody that's going to say, well, somebody can walk out with it or somebody can just cut the light. That's not the point of the video. It was just to show you if you want just to have a place to put it and lock it, just for locking's sake, yes, anything can be defeated. Yes, there's a YouTube video on everything out there. So that's kind of my little rant on that is, again, it's just to show you, what options are out there. That's all it is, guys.
Those little safes are actually quite valuable because if you're thinking about budget-friendly people, budget-minded people who live in, like Vanessa Kitty earlier, she lives in Connecticut, and they have really strict lock up your gun laws. So if you have a pistol or a backup pistol that you leave at home and you have it in that safe, even if it is just that little thing that's locked and so on, that's going to help you when you call the cops and say, hey, my gun is stolen. It's in the safe. They stole the safe. So, you're going to pad yourself from the law coming after you.
The other thing too with those little boxes, like here in Nebraska, when your gun's in your vehicle, you're supposed to have it locked in the glove box or locked in some kind of storage compartment. Well, let me see. My little car doesn't have any kind of locking glove box. I have no lockable compartments in my car. I've got a hatchback, which makes it even more difficult because there's no legal locked trunk for me to store my stuff in. So I've got one of those little transport boxes with the cable tie, and that goes around the hook that the back seats, lock up onto, because that's hard mounted to the frame. Because you have to have the cabinet, you have to have your little lockbox mounted somewhere in the car that it can't be easily removed. It has to be mounted to the frame of the vehicle, which these laws are ridiculous because they don't take things into consideration like SUV hatchback owners. Where am I supposed to lock my gun in my car? If you say I have to lock it in this parking lot, if I get out and have to stow my weapon before I go into the place I'm going into, school, hospital, church, whatever, you have to have it locked in your car. That's why my next vehicle I'm considering buying, I want to get something that has, a factory lockable compartment in it, or get something that has like a lockbox that will bolt onto the car. Just should something ever happen to my vehicle searched or I get searched or whatever, the gun's just not sitting in the back seat or just not sitting in the back unattended. So, I mean, yeah, those little lock boxes are very handy. That's what I buy them for, is for the SUV that I've owned in the past, or the little hatchback that I drive now. So I have a place to legally store it. So I'm not breaking gun laws. So the 1 in a million chance something happens, I'm not held liable for it. What's that?
Get a console safe. Have you seen those? The company.
There isn't one for my vehicle. Yeah, exactly. There are ones that are out there, but a lot of the times it's made for a certain line of vehicles, or there's some.
They have them for most trucks and SUVs. I don't know what you had. You said hatchback, so I'm guessing you have like one of those.
No, I drive a Hyundai Kona. I mean, I'm not hiding anything from it. You can see it in half my videos, so it's just a little. And before that, I had a Jeep Cherokee 01 that had nothing. I guess it did have a lockable glove box, but the glove box was so shallow that you couldn't put anything more than like a pocket pistol in it. There's no other lockable compartments in the vehicle. On that, what I used to do is I used to run the cable around the spare tire bracket, because that's bolted to the frame of the vehicle, to the body of the vehicle. So
we do the same thing. We have one of those little ones. Actually, I got it free when I bought my M&P Shield EZ, so didn't have to pay for it. It was like, so it comes in handy. Like if we're going to Maryland or something, I can just pop my gun in there. And because Kingpin will tell you, Maryland's got some silly laws when it comes to transporting guns too. If you don't have their carry permit,
it's got to be separate from, like, you have to have one. You have to have the ammo in the back seat. You have to, with the magazines unloaded.
Technically, under Maryland law, you got to have one locked in the trunk, and then the other has to be locked in the passenger compartment somewhere. My wife's car doesn't have a trunk.
If you're interested in Maryland gun laws, there's a whole playlist on my channel that describes a bunch of them.
Are you serious? No, are you serious, Kingpin? Are you being serious?
He's serious.
Yeah.
Good, because I hear how ridiculous. I need to go watch this. I just, not to like mock it, but just be like, oh my God, really? Because I thought we had some ridiculous stuff in Nebraska for storage your gun in your cars, and even then we've got some city ordinances that say like you can't leave it in your car for more than 48 hours or something, or if you're out of town, it's nuts, you know.
Well, I originally started making the Maryland gun laws so you guys could mock me. And just other people happen to, I guess, looking at
you wanted to pick a fight then, is what you're saying.
So feel free to laugh and point fingers and make fun of me. That's what the original intent of those is, so you guys could have some fun.
Well, and it shows the ridiculousness of it all, you know. So X Adam 1 says, I have a Chihuahua and she'll alert the most dangerous animal in the house, a gun-loving me who isn't willing to part with his things to a thief. Yep. Hillbilly Up, you did have kind of the microphone drop comment of the day. I got to give you this one. You can always put your pistol in a locking file cabinet that's labeled bills. No one would look in there. So yeah, you put like divorce paperwork, like put it across like in masking tape, like duct tape, and put divorce paperwork on it. Just, get some old rusty, nasty cabinet. So one thing we did talk about 4 years ago that we didn't bring up in this episode was going to auctions, going to estate sales as a place to pick up gun safes, so long as you've got the combination. Always an option, but I mean, if it's like a bank vault, it's not going to have maybe shelving in it, and that could be difficult to install, and it might just be an open box, and it's up to you to figure out how. I mean, a handy person could probably come up with some idea for shelving, but yeah, going to auctions, going on Facebook or Craigslist or Facebook, because people sell gun safes on Facebook because they're moving and they got to get rid of them, or you hear of somebody that has one for sale, secondhand, you can generally pick up some pretty good deals on stuff, especially if you get like a bank vault, like grade safe. You can get some pretty hardcore, heavy duty gun safes that are not going anywhere unless somebody has like a freaking forklift with them. Squid probably would, but yeah.
I've moved a bunch of safes for my boss, but I've never asked him how much he paid for them or what kind of deal. I would imagine that the person on the end of the person doing the buying off of the internet or Facebook or whatever, you have a lot of power in that conversation, because I need to get rid of this thing.
Oh yeah.
The new homeowner wants it out of here, so I can't just leave it here. So I want $1,000 for it. Well, Squib has a truck. He's got 3 guys. He's got a dolly, and he's got the weekend off. So he'll give you $700 for it.
And if he's got cash, hey, let's just be done with it, move on,
Yeah, I would imagine that the buyer would have a lot of weight in that conversation.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree totally. You can use that as leverage, especially if it's close to the holidays, or, somebody's got to move, or they'll say, hey, got to move quick, and if they didn't put firm in the price and they're willing to negotiate, you can really make some really good deals.
Well, and I forgot, Squib has Squib Lift with him, and there's nothing that Squib Lift can't lift.
Except for like torpedoes or certain bombs off the side of loading docks. But, let's just hope he's a little more careful this time with your gun safe. So Bjorn says, I found a way to defeat your Travis mind trick. Bjorn, what's that? How do you defend the Travis mind trick?
He wraps aluminum.
Let's have a discussion, Bjorn. Let's talk. I'm like an energy vampire. I can get you to fall to my side easily on anything. We can debate anything, and I can guarantee you I can make you want to buy it by the end of that discussion, whether it's the Hot Pocket capable cargo shorts that you want because they're so useful and they were so trendy back in the 90s, or say instant oatmeal or a gun safe. You'd never know, how bad you want these things. So
I bet you he watches the show sitting next to his wife.
Well, it's his girlfriend, I think, and he told me his girlfriend went and bought a Colt Trooper Mark III after watching my video and me talking about how magical the trigger is, because it really is that good. I mean, I can put into words how awesome that trigger is, but I don't want to make the show not PG. So yeah,
I did forget about that.
It's like a soul bonding experience when you take a Colt Trooper Mark III to the range. You go from shooting one gun to that thing, and you're just like, oh my god, I want one of these. And then suddenly you start looking online at them, and you're kind of checking your bank account, thinking, do I really want to drop $1,500 on one? Yes, I do. See, there you go. Right now, people are going to be like, what's a Colt Trooper Mark III? You start looking up, you're like, oh, that's nice, right? So anywho, all right, guys, I think we're going to go and call it. So, just kind of getting out there. Squiblift says, I can move it. So if you want something moved, you can go to www.squiblift.com, and Squiblift will take care of your moving needs. So there you go. There you go. So it's been a fun discussion. Like I said, just kind of the ins and outs of gun safes, and with us going into the holidays and people maybe needing some cash around the holidays. You might have some buying power. So if you want to pick up a gun safe, just go into your Facebook marketplace. Be careful, obviously, and see what's out there. See what's for sale. Make sure you get the combination with it. I'd be a little leery of buying somebody's gun safe that has an electronic lock, just because you don't know if that lock is old or had any kind of problems with it and stuff, and that could leave you locked out. No pun intended, with like an 800-pound paperweight. So maybe consider going mechanical safes only with the dial and handle and all that stuff. But again, you do you. You do what's going to work best for you, and we've got a lot of different options out there. So Hillbilly What says, what? Cargo shorts are out of style? Nobody told me. Well, no, Hillbilly, as long as Costco keeps selling cargo shorts, then they're definitely still in style. It's just kind of, I always like to make fun of them because I still wear them. I think they're great,
Man, I love my regular cargo shorts.
Well, it's because we all came from a time where we didn't have one device that could do absolutely everything for you. We had to have a planner, we had to have a pocket PDA, and we had to have a tape measure, and we had to have, pens and pencils and a daily planner. You took that crap with you. We were very much, very accessorized back in the day, and cargo pockets, even though they hang low and just bang off your kneecaps, they're still useful,
Yeah, I mean, if you got cargo pants on with all them pockets, you ain't got to carry around your man purse.
No, not at all. It's a satchel. And, like I said, it's a satchel, and Indiana Jones has one. So we do need to look at this real quick. We do have to take a look at this. This has nothing to do with gun safes, and this is just us having fun. I want to show off these. These are the shorts that Kingpin are going to buy. Hot Pocket releases limited edition cargo shorts. So they are thermal lined. Good. They did get my memo. So it says, here's how we get a pair. Look at that. Huh? And it says Hot Pockets launched nearly 4 decades ago. Obviously, I've been fat ever since I started eating them, bringing the world a simple but delicious service, ready to eat, heat, and eat treats. For the winter warriors who like to keep wearing shorts, even during the coldest months of the year, we all have that uncle, the brand is launching a pair of cargo shorts with an insulated pocket to keep your Hot Pocket toasty no matter how low the temperatures go. So it says stay heated. It's got some embroidery on the left side. It tells you where to put the Hot Pocket. It's got you keep the hot side hot and the cold side cold, kind of like the old McDLT from McDonald's back in the day.
Yeah,
so this is on foodandwine.com, by the way. If you guys want to look this up, just type in Hot Pocket cargo shorts. It says, but hang on, there's more. The shorts also come with a matching hoodie, because winter shorts have to be accompanied by something far warmer on your upper half that says irresistibly hot. Oh my God, I want this so bad. Look at that. Look, I walk around with that, and then the ladies will just be everywhere, right?
I wonder how long that'd keep you warm for, out in the deer stand or something.
Well, out in Nebraska, you'd die of hypothermia within 30 minutes. But I'm just saying, maybe in Missouri it won't be quite so bad because you guys aren't sub-zero. But
it's a thermal pocket large enough to put a Hot Pocket and an electronic hand warmer.
Dude, that's awesome. And your handspring visor or your BlackBerry. So here's the better part. Not only does it say irresistibly hot on the front, but for Squib, it says hotter in the Wild West on the back. I have no idea what that's supposed to mean.
What does that mean?
I don't know. With additional flame characters and imagery.
If the pocket is big enough to put the Hot Pocket and one of those hand warmers, you can literally cook it as you're walking around.
It's like they took some stoned freshman in college and said, make us a cool design that people would buy that makes you put this in your clothes. And this is what they came up. They gave him a crayon and a piece of paper and said, sell this. That's basically what they're doing. What do we got here?
Cook your Hot Pocket as you're walking around with using one of those hand warmers.
So here's the brand's marketing measure. Wearing shorts in winter is an unexpected, bold fashion choice. And Hot Pockets saw a way to bring the heat with our new insulated shorts. Brian Waddell, the brand's marketing manager, added in the statement, we teamed up with Columbus Fashion Alliance, not only because we believe in their mission, but because we knew they could help bring our customers a functional item with an undeniably hot design. The Hot Pocket shorts will go on sale December 12th and will be available in sizes small through extra large. Okay, that's their first mistake. People that eat Hot Pockets that grew up wearing cargo shorts are not extra large. They might be little people, but we are 2XL. All right, so Hot Pockets, that's you just lost me as a customer. Hot Pockets, I want 2XL.
It should start at 1X and go up from there.
They got to go up to 5. Have they not seen their clientele? Do they not know who they market their products to? Healthy people like Kingpin don't eat Hot Pockets. They don't, or if they do, it's like once in a while. People that buy 24-pack Hot Pockets like myself at Costco need 2XL. At least a 42-inch waist Hot Pockets. You guys are totally screwing up your demographic. So as much as I want these, I got a feeling they're going to be an extra fail. Unless it's a large, extra large, but I highly doubt it. Maybe it's some incentive to lose some weight so I can fit into them. Maybe I'll go that route instead. Or I could still tabletop review them without wearing them, but then that's like tabletop reviewing a car without taking it on the road. You know, you really can't enjoy it till you get to try it. But anyway, for those of you interested that fit the XL form, whatever you want to call it, form figure, they're going to go on sale December 12th. And the limited edition items will be available at no cost while supplies last. What? And as a bonus, they're going to just give them away. And as a bonus, the apparel comes with 1 coupon redeemable for 1 Hot Pocket sandwich. So get them while they last at the Hot Pockets online shop. So we're going to go there now. New merch coming soon. Our next drop, shorts with the Hot Pocket. So be the first to know when we launch promotions and when new merch drops. Okay, I'm going to try my best to get these. And then I'm going to find out who wears extra large cargo shorts, which I don't know who that is on the panel. I'm going to send them to probably Kingpin. And I'm going to send them to them, and I'm going to expect a tabletop review. Because, I could probably get one leg through the waist, and that's going to be about it.
Kingpin would swim. Kingpin could use them as a swimming pool if you sent him extra large.
Yeah, I got a 34 waist.
So Kingpin, I was going to ask you how often your waist size is, but I'm going to have to know. So yeah.
Yeah, 34.
If you start out with the small and eat Hot Pockets, you're eventually going to be moving up to the large. So it
wouldn't take long. You look at the carb count of those things. Yeah.
I could probably get away with the large or the extra large.
Oh man, you guys make sure you get over to hotpockets.com and you can go to their little shop store. I'm gonna quickly just put my first and last name in here. I'm already off air with the this particular part of the broadcast, but I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna get these. I'm going to make this. So Kingpin, I thank you for letting me know about this. I'm pretty excited. So they say spread the word. We're definitely going to do that. So you can get your free Hot Pockets merch. Apparently they're free. I find it hard to believe, but
it said no cost. I mean, I did that. I'm taking that myself because I was reading it, that part before you got to it, and I was like, that says no cost.
So when this pops up, I'm going to have to find a way to get out of work because I got a feeling these are going to disappear quick. Dude, that's awesome. They need to put more clothes with more insulated pockets in them like that for food transportation. I really like that idea. So the thing is, though, don't they make extra large Hot Pockets? Don't they have bigger ones? They have double ones or double stuffed or something?
They did. I don't know if they still make them or not.
I have to go check Target. I think yeah, I'm double stuffed right now, but maybe we can, maybe that'll fit in there. So, but if not, we're gonna have to test it out. What I like about it is you can leave the paper sleeve on the Hot Pocket and put that in the pocket. And so therefore you can keep it double protected and insulated so you don't burn yourself. Because you got to think there's a little liability there when you strap something that's 250 degrees next to your leg. So, if you hit that thing hard enough, ooh, man, the scalding. What do we got here? Tony York says 31-inch pants, but they allow extra movement. I can wear 30-inch waist without my gun. I should try to get multiples of these. Let's see. Bjorn says I don't eat Hot Pockets that often. See, that's your problem, Bjorn. You need to start. It's never too late to learn how to not eat healthy. All right. Defense Ed says they should bring back parachute pants with all the zipper pockets. They're actually making a comeback. Close in the 80s and 90s. I'm kind of an expert on the fashion of young people. And that 80s and 90s looking stuff, fanny bags, neon, palm trees, flamingos, aquamarine, teal stuff. It's all making a comeback right now. It's definitely a big thing. So there we go. All right. So we're going to go ahead and call it. On that note, we're going to go ahead and end it. 30 minutes of talk about nothing gun safe related, but it was fun. Defense Dad said today on Coffee, Computers, and More, Hot Pockets in-depth review. Yeah, I'm probably going to do a review for that product on both of my channels because there's the tactical side that wants it, and then there's the geeky side of me that just is intrigued by it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tabletop review a Hot Pocket after I pull it out of my Hot Pocket pants, and then I'm gonna see how it tastes. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and close this one out. Squib, why don't you go ahead and start? Give us your little plug, man. What do you want to say?
Just
what is there to say?
Well, yeah, all this other stuff aside, a safe or a cabinet is a choice, and it's an individual choice. It's just like having insurance. It's an individual choice. I don't agree with any sort of laws that require you to have it, but I do encourage people to get them, especially if you have children, you're planning to have children, you have grandchildren. There's an opportunity for children to come over and whatnot. Things like that. You can argue till you're blue in the face that you've raised your kids around guns and you don't need no safe in your house. That's great. What happens when their friends come over or other things? A safe is not a 100% deterrent against theft, and it may not necessarily completely save whatever you put in there to more than just guns in a fire or flood or something else like that. However, it is a good step in the right direction. It does offer some level of protection. I don't think somebody will regret investing in a safe. Cabinets are a good entry level for somebody who maybe doesn't want to shell out the money and they're just looking to lock them up when kids are around or something like that. But cabinets are a lot easier to defeat. They offer no fire resistance or anything else like that. So I really don't encourage people to get a cabinet. Yeah. If you're going to get a safe that is bigger than what you plan to store in there, because you will start adding things, you will expand it. And if you get a safe, I recommend getting something decent. You don't have to drop $5,000 when you find them on sale, say Bass Pro Shop or something like that. You can get a pretty decent deal on a safe that you and a buddy can move with a dolly. If you don't have a dolly, you can rent one at Home Depot or something like that, borrow one from work, do something like that. There are some safes, if you take the door off, the two of you can literally just lay it on its back and pick it up and carry it to wherever you need in the house. And once you start weighing it down with guns and stuff, it's going to be a lot harder to move. But it's an individual choice, and I think that there's a lot of good options out there if somebody wants that. If somebody is absolutely adamant against the safe, they're against the safe. But the one excuse I will not tolerate is I can't afford it, because that is a lie.
Yeah.
You can buy a $550 Glock, but you can't buy a $550 safe. I'm just not going to give you a pass on that.
Yeah, again, like I said, it's really weird how we prioritize as gun owners. It's like, oh, I won't buy good ammo for my gun, but I'll spend $900 on this gun, but I'll run trash ammo through it and then wonder why it doesn't function. Or, oh, I won't spend $700 on a safe, but I just spent, $800 on a customized slide for my gun. It's like, dude, what are your priorities? If anything, the nice thing about the safes and lockers is it kind of helps you keep them organized and kind of out of the way so that they don't fall on stuff or get knocked over. And yeah, it's cool to decorate your house with them, but guns just take up room, and it's very hard to find places where you can set guns where you're not going to get oil over everything or scratch the walls or whatever. So I just like it as a way to keep stuff organized. That's one good thing about it too. So, I mean, even myself, I'm even considering a new larger one now. I think I probably should go that route. Instead of having two smaller ones, I think I'd like to just get one and just be done with it. So that might be something I'm going to have to look at doing this spring. Cool, man. Yeah, that's a good point. Like I said, and like we said, the point of this discussion isn't to advocate for safe storage laws or telling you have to have one. It's just for people interested. Like anything, this is what's out there. These are your options, and this is what you can do. And this is our experience with what we've had. So,
and a safe can make a pretty decent gift. I got my older son a safe for his high school graduation gift, and that safe is in his apartment right now. And he's learning quickly how one safe turns into 2, turns into 3, turns into 4, 5, 6. Because he's filling it up with guns. And if you want to encourage somebody who is new to firearms to get more, when they go, oh, I just need the one, you get them a safe with all that empty room in there. They'll open it up, they'll hear the echo, and they'll be like, this gun is so lonely in here by itself. Mm-hmm. And they'll get another and another and another.
And then dad's buying them guns, and that takes up room. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, they'll curse you. Yeah. They will curse you for giving them the containers that they have to fill.
This is true. All right, and shout out to Foos that was with us earlier, and then also Artisan Tony for joining in, guys. Appreciate you contributing to the discussion. All right, Rich, any final words of wisdom? Anything you want to say? Plug your channel. What's up, man?
I don't know. Just check your secondhand furniture stores, people. That's where we got our stack on. We We got the one that's usually between $200 and $250. We paid $80 out the door at the secondhand furniture store for it.
It's a good idea. Pawn shops, maybe garage sales. You know, if you got the money and the ability to move one quick, and you got the manpower, that's estate sales are good to consider too. So, yeah, if you can get free delivery on, at least curbside delivery on the safe, that's nice to have because they'll at least drop it off in your driveway, and then you can get it in your house on your own. So that's something to consider. So, cool, man. All right, Chris, any final words of wisdom?
Well, thanks for the invite, and yeah, I got to say I pretty much agree with a lot of the stuff Squib was saying. I get a lot of teenage boys over here at the house, and you know, you can sit like we said earlier. You can tell kids, don't touch the guns when I'm not here and all that. But I mean, with social media and stuff the way it is today, you get one of these kids in your house, and especially in my situation, they know I'm on YouTube and stuff. They want to see stuff, and they start picking things up, taking pictures with it, and posting it, and get yourself in some trouble real quick. So it's just, I like having the gun safes. I think they're a great thing to have, and it's about all I got to say on it. It's just, it's a nice deterrent for a lot of things other than just people stealing stuff. So.
And again, protect documents, precious metals, just have stuff out of the way so somebody can't walk off with it. So that's that's the idea about today's show. So gotcha, man. Gotcha. Tony, I left a little feedback for you out there. Why don't you go ahead and watch that comment? I'm always down for any suggestions. So just want to get that out there. Yeah, New York Outcast says, lock your doors. Lock your doors. Yeah, dude. I mean, that's not a bad idea. There's, I know you guys say that you live in neighborhoods where you don't ever do it, but I'm always hearing about people's cars being stolen because it was running with the keys in it, which a lot of people in Nebraska do, surprisingly. A lot of people have we had a shooting in small town Nebraska here recently, and it's one of those communities where people just lock their doors. They don't think about it, and there's a gunfight next door to their house, and it's like, wow. Then anyway, so yeah, you just want to be careful. Just be careful when you can. So, all right, Kingpin, anything you want to say?
Really, the best advice I could give would be gather up all your guns and go to your local police department and turn them all in. And you won't need to waste a bunch of money on safes and all that kind of stuff.
Drop off your guns at the nearest Benchmade factory and your knives, and they'll mulch them for you. So for free.
There you go.
Yep. Response to Tony out there: lever guns. Have a discussion on lever guns. We've had 2 or 3, and once Marlin/Ruger finally releases the 336, then I think we'll have a lever gun discussion, because then we can look at the complete line. It'll finally be done. They've got their SBLs out there and so on. I know there's Rossi and Uberti and other companies too, but we can do a lever gun discussion. As soon as Marlin comes out with the 336, I plan on buying one. I'm going to get one right away. And I know it's going to be a first production run, but looking at how well finished the new SBLs are and the 4570s that Ruger Marlin are putting out, I'm convinced they're not going to release an inferior product just because they look good. And for the price premium that they're charging, they should be good. So that's, all right. So anyway, if you don't like the topic, that's fine. I don't worry about it. All right, Kingpin, anything you want to say before we go?
Oh, thanks for having me. Great conversation. Appreciate everybody in the panel and in the chat. Have a great day.
No problem, man. No problem, dude. Good having you here. And again, hopefully a little bit of wisdom's come out of this show. And like we said before, you do whatever you want to do for your own security and lockup or not of your guns. That's your own choice. So we're not shaming anybody or whatever. You do you. All right, American Hillbilly, any final words before we go?
Yeah, first of all, I just want to thank you, Travis, for having me on. And it was a great panel and great side chat. Really had a lot of fun today. And, it's really interesting seeing the different opinions on stuff, And so, I mean, I just had a lot of fun. Still pumping out some videos and trying to have fun doing that. But one thing I would say, along with, most important to me is the gun safety aspect of it. Just like Chris was talking or whatever, if it might not be as safe, keep them, put up to where they're, out of the hands of somebody that shouldn't, be having them, And so that's one of the main things in my opinion.
Definitely. Good having you here. And I like that comment about the gas station tuna sandwich shorts. They got to have a short to transport and keep it cool, and then something to handle the salmonella later, the botulism later that kicks in. I've had my share of Deli Express sandwiches. It's usually a positive experience. So, out there to Defense Dad, you'd sell it to me. Don't sit there and act like he's tried to buy it. I got a feeling we could have closed the deal on it. The only reason I've been waiting is because it's going to be a new release, and I want to get one of the new ones because I've owned a 336 before, and I do want another one. And Squib and I had a discussion about this. I'm on the teetering edge of deciding whether or not to wait for the Marlin Ruger 336 to come out or to just go buy another Henry and be done with it because I want another lever gun. I just want to wait to see what the MSRP is going to be on the Ruger Marlins and if they're going to be worth it or not. So
see what the MSRP is and see if they actually deliver them on time, if they release them and all the other stuff.
The SBLs, when they came out, I remember seeing on Gun.Deals, they were up for purchase. I had 2 or 3 days where I could have bought those original when they released the 4570s. I could have bought one and got one through like Family Firearms or Kentucky Gun Company. They're dropping in price now. I'm seeing the 4570s blued for under 900, which they were 11, 12, 1300 when they first came out. They were going for full MSRP. So maybe the market's starting to cool down a little bit for them, or maybe prices are starting to kind of settle down on some of those guns. But yeah, I mean, I got a feeling being a 336, everybody's going to want one, so I'd expect them to go for a pretty expensive, to bring a premium, at least MSRP. Not really over, but just like right at, like those 4570s were 1300 when they first came out. So, but thing is, I can buy a used 336, whether it's pre-Freedom Group or not, for like $1,000 now if I wanted one on Gunbroker. But honestly, I'd rather just get a new gun. Not that I'm against buying a used 336, but I have to see it in person and check out the bore and stuff. But last thing I want to mention, again, just shout out to Artisan Tony, who worked with Manus to get us a Blackbeard X that we're going to be giving away. Again, these are over $300. I'm going to test it this weekend or this week, make a video on it, do an unboxing review, talk about the software, and kind of play CQB, tier 1 operator in my house and run around with Ammo Dog and see how it's going to run and see if it's worth it, right? See what the software's like and easy to use or not, and give you guys a full report on it, and we're going to give it away. So we're going to do that over on Tony's channel. Oh yeah, definitely, man. Even the Manus we gave away, I think it was William Trader won it, one of our viewers, and that was over $100 value. So, and Tony actually got a brand new one. Mantis sent him a brand new one. And I still have the original that I tested that I've just been kind of playing around with and letting other YouTubers test it out and stuff. So, yeah. Defense Dad says, I still want a Rossi M92 and 357. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing, too, is I can get a lot of options if I don't want to go 30-30. There's a ton of other 45 Colts or, 357 or 44. So, yeah. All right, so I think that's it. Join us next Saturday. We'll have a discussion on something. I don't know what. We'll talk about it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I've got another video dropping this Wednesday. I did a PSA dagger cleaning video. It's kind of geared more towards the beginner because there's a lot of people that buy that as their first pistol because they're $299, and a lot of people get them as their first gun. I was really surprised and impressed with the quality of it, and I'm not supported by PSA in any way, shape, or form, but the robustness and the build quality of the gun seemed to be pretty good. Definitely a level above Taurus for what it's worth, about the same as maybe like an M&P or whatnot, or even a Glock for that matter. Ooh, I know that's fighting words right point. What's that?
Is it as good as a high point?
Oh, it's definitely one step above. It's definitely it's one hot pocket on a scale of 1 to 5 hot pockets. It's a 2. It's a 2 instead of 1. So yeah. No, it was neat. I want one, but I'm waiting for PSA to hurry up and do a combo deal where you can get a GF3 AK with the PSA dagger full size, the S model. Right now, you can just get the G19 sized dagger with an AK for $799. I want them to do the full size model, so I'm gonna wait and see if they offer that deal because I was pretty impressed with the GF3 that I cleaned on my channel this week. I'd like to get one of those. They're neat. They're nice AKs, and I like to test one out. And yeah. Ooh, Defense Dad says we can have Mantis Blackbeard X duels with mine. LOL. Do we have another fried chicken challenge, Defense Dad? Do we need to do another winter chicken dinner challenge, or maybe like beef shootout? Winner's got to buy the other person a steak or a seafood dinner. So Defense Dad, you name the time and place, and we'll have a competition. So you choose the rifle, or we can use whatever rifle we want, and then go from there. So yeah, that'll work. All right, so Bjorn says, Mada Dode, see you later. M. Gabriel's a big fan of gas station sushi. I'm probably going to pass on that. That might be a little sus. That I don't know. I equate that with having to stop at some point down the road and seeing it again. So yeah, here we go. New York Outcast says maybe Rick should cover gun storage today for a topic. There you go. Yeah. All right, guys, y'all have fun. We've been going for 2 hours. I appreciate everybody watching. Thank you for your support. Check me out, Travis P11, and just type that search in under Google, and you'll find all my social media outlets and so on, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that fun stuff. So Kingpin, thanks for joining us today, and also Foos, you too. In the meantime, a little shout out to the viewers today. We've got Defense Dad out there. We've got New York Outcast, Kingpin, Bjorn, M. Gabriel, Tony York in the house. Let's see here. Squib Lift, Squib Load, the whole Squib Empire, the Squib Eye are out there also. Artisan Tony for joining in. Ozzy Orsborn, Hillbilly Up over there and over here. Let's see who else was out there. A lot of discussion today. Kingpin over there and over here. That might be about it, guys. I don't know. There was a lot of people, but I'm kind of scrolling through the comments quick. Chris in the 740 over there and over here. X Adam 1 in the house. John Z. Mo EDC, the Missouri EDC bro. Watt 75, Arm Rebellion 47. Watching today. Grumpy Bear in the house. Arson Tony was out there. MN Mike B. Is it Minnesota Mike B? You guys might have to correct me on that. That's what I'm guessing, but I could be wrong. Thomas Rees out there watching today too. And I think that's it. If I missed anybody, apologies to you guys. But New York Outcast, Raw Feeding 101, thank you for the super chats today. And I missed whoever posted the very first comment. It's not there now, but whoever you are, shout out to you. I'm totally drawing a blank right now, but my brain's fried. So Watch 75, and that's it. Vanessa Kitty. All right, guys, I want you to have fun. I want you to be safe, and as you know,